Wowby, what's this? It really is. That's not an exaggeration. That's how he plays that part. We're gonna be rich. Come on, Pooh.
Is that the
dog's name is Pooh? Pooh Bear?
Sure.
That's original. It's like, it's so bad. It's so bad it's good, though.
We did Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at the Magic Kingdom.
Not so scary, but like not even a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's like, they're not at all scary Halloween party, except for the price.
Yes.
That's the scary part.
Okay, there you go. The one scare that they get in is the price tag.
So, yeah, what do you want to go through what they do?
Well, they have a parade and a fireworks show that we didn't see.
Yeah.
We're such Disney fans.
That's like, yeah, I mean, it's like that and maybe some special food items?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't do any of that, right?
No, I did special food.
Whoa, what did we do? What did you get?
I got the Lotso burger.
Oh, that's right. You got the gross, nasty...
The nastiest, most ridiculous thing that they did for the event. The other things were like, I was just like cupcakes with like decorative topping, which is just all sugar.
Okay.
I mean, I think we probably know what it tastes like. It's just that it looks like a Haunted Mansion Doom Buggy or something on top.
Oh, okay.
Or just bullshit. That might have been last year, actually, but it's just crap like that.
Hades nachos.
They
Buffalo
did do Hades
chicken
nachos, which
nachos.
literally look like vomit on top of tortilla chips.
Yeah.
We saw it, and then, yeah, exactly. That was a no-go for, at least for me. I wasn't tempted after I saw it. I was like, oh, that's what it is? Ugh.
What was on the burger, though? What did
The
they have?
burger was, I think it was like a little maybe improved burger patty. I don't know, maybe, I haven't had a burger at Disney in a while, so I don't know what their regular burger is like anymore. But it was like a quarter-pound patty. It was larger. So I don't know if that's what they're working with every day or not. And then it had, what was the cheese?
Brie?
Shit, it was brie. It was brie fondue. Brie fondue,
Bacon tomato
strawberry, not tomato, I'm sorry. Strawberry bacon jam.
Oh, my God.
Strawberry bacon jam spread with brie fondue goo on your burger patty with like lettuce, tomato, and maybe bacon. Oh, and it was a special brioche bun. It wasn't the regular burger bun.
with Lotso's face burned into it.
Yes, they brand the bun with Lotso.
From Toy Story. In case you
He's
did not know who
the
Lotso
villain
is.
from Toy Story 3.
Okay, so it's brie fondue, strawberry bacon jam, and an onion ring.
Oh, a fried onion ring. That's right.
Yeah.
And it was not that bad. Oh my God, that's a picture of it. Okay. I know I took a couple of my own pictures too.
It looks nasty.
it looks
as
like-
nasty as it sounds.
It looks like hell. Especially because it's a fondue, so the cheese is just oozing everywhere. It's just nasty. I don't know. I thought it could have been crap, and I might have not finished it. I took that chance. But I actually did get through the whole thing. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It was okay. I mean, I'd never get it again. I have no need to ever do it again if they offer it again. But for the time, I was not sorry I did it.
Okay, good.
The bottom line is we got caught in a situation we had to eat, and not even all the food service places are open during the Halloween party. And also, it's like you have a limited number of hours, so we didn't want to like do a sit down or anything. Even if any of the sit down were open, I don't know if any were. It was about Beauty and the Beast was.
Oh.
Be Our Guest was open. We did think about it for a second, and then I was like, it's not that good. It's expensive, and it takes too long. So we just ended up at Cosmic Rays, and it's like, all right, well, from here, I'm gonna get the wacky, crazy shit. And I'm not getting the regular burger or just the regular chicken sandwich that I could get any day. I'm gonna go for it. So I did it.
Yeah, you took the hit for all
I
of
took
us.
it. Yeah, you guys got the ordinary. We had chicken fingers.
I got chicken
tenders.
nuggets.
And
I got the salad.
And you just got like a chicken salad, right?
I got the salad with chicken in it.
Yeah. So I took the hit, and whatever, I got through it. It was okay. It was tasty. It had. It has a lot of. They're very liberal with the fondue and the jam. There's a lot of each. It's not like a little schmear in the middle and then just a plain burger. It's a ton. And then the onion ring is very large too. It's a thick, like a double wide onion ring. So you get a lot of topping. You get a lot of that flavor every bite. It sticks through the whole burger experience. and again, I got through the whole thing and didn't get sick of it. So I guess that says something. I mean, the jam, it's strawberry. It's like sweetness to it. I like sweet a lot. And even the brie has had a sweetness to it. So it's like I don't know. I can see a lot of people not liking it. Like a sweet burger. It's kind of weird, but I kind of got into it. It's strawberry bacon and a cheese flavor. It's just very strange, and I mean, if you're into burgers a lot, I'd have to recommend it, I guess. If you're going there and you like wacky burgers, I guess try it. It's not like the worst thing you ever had, for sure.
For the rest of the stuff, they turn the lights out on Space Mountain. Not as good as Lights On.
Well, you say it like that and make it sound like crap. No, it deserves it, though. It is crap.
Yeah, I missed the Starfield and the tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah, they turned everything off, even the entry tunnel in the beginning, the blue, and then the red one at the end. Hyperspace tunnels. And yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, and I think you hit on a good point where you said when they have the lights on, there's like a weird perception of speed where it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour. With the lights off, you don't really get that.
Well, it's too dark.
Yeah.
And then it's just whatever it feels like it is.
So it feels
once you're
not as fast.
Once you mentally adjust after the first couple of dips and turns, then it's just, it's almost like you could perceive it being more what it is.
Yes. Yeah. Like a weird...
Yeah, it's like a flitzer in a warehouse.
Yeah, a flitzer in a warehouse. Yes, that's exactly what I
said it many times here.
Right, it feels more like that, which is not what you want.
Yeah, somehow it's a downgrade, oddly enough. You need that planetarium show on the ceiling. It's very impressive. And it also shines on some of the supports and the track throughout the ride, and it just creates another element, and it messes with your ability to kind of process how fast you are really going. And I think it speeds it up for you.
Yeah, it feels like you're flying past those stars.
Yeah.
So having just the light show is what makes that ride. And it's funny because I guess now we know. I don't know if I ever would have known if I never got to experiment with it and ride it with nothing on. And then not having the tunnels, that's just like still silly.
That was very strange, yeah.
Especially at the beginning, because it did feel like, are we moving yet? And what are we doing? And, like, it does feel a little bit like you're just in a black hole. Which I guess is what they're going for.
To non-enthusiasts, no difference. The same girl from school that had Lotso Burger, she was like, oh, it was exactly the same. I was like,
really?
My jaw just fell. I'm like, no. I'm like, I just didn't even.
I didn't think about that.
I just zipped my mouth. I'm like, I'm not gonna bother. But
so to
okay.
just Disney people, like those were the only couple of coasters they do, were like the mountains. They, at least this one.
She was like, she thought it was exactly the same.
Oh,
she
wow.
was like, there were no stars, but the ride was exactly the same. And I just sat there.
All right. Well, I guess I could see that. You're not thinking about it as much.
Yeah.
Like we are. Not going to analyze it.
Where I really missed the stars.
Yeah, we all did. So that was unfortunate. Still a great ride, though.
Oh, so good.
It was running great, and we didn't have to wait much for it. So
Love that.
That was a positive.
And then for the teacups, they changed some of the lights, a little more dramatic lighting, neon lighting, and they pumped a little fog in there.
Well, you said it best when we were standing on a line. They turned it into Enigmatech.
Oh, yeah.
They turned it into Riddler's Lair from Batman Forever.
It looks like that, yeah.
But it's like literally what it was.
And so with that, and then with Haunted Mansion, they kind of do the same thing where they put this neon lighting and they pump out a lot of fog. So for that and the teacups, it was like, well, this is the way these rides should be all the time.
Yeah.
It actually made them better, just the outside of it.
Well, yeah, Haunted Mansion, it was just an aesthetic thing completely. Just made the showpiece of the house look better at night.
Yeah.
With dramatic blue and, it was like blue and green,
It looked
I
really
believe.
cool.
And purple, maybe.
But all that fog looked badass.
And
that
the
should be
fog.
there all the time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And they had some, like, not characters, but they had some of the characters from the ride, I guess, out front, taking pictures and stuff. That was kind of cool, too.
Yeah. Picture opportunity.
Yeah. So, Disney, if you're listening, just leave it.
And they allow the cast members to have face makeup
Oh, that's right, yes.
for that event, which is another thing. It's like, just do that all the time. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, that should just be the new look of Mansion.
Yeah.
Creepier cast members, the better lighting, the fog, and maybe a picture opportunity when you exit with a ghoul.
Yes, I enjoyed
It's
it
like-
so much more this time than my most recent before that. Or my few most recent before that.
Oh, the ride itself was
everything about it was better.
It was running on all cylinders. It was really top notch this time.
Yeah.
Like every effect was working, like perfect. Timing was just impeccable. It was great.
Yeah. It's a a lot better than the Disneyland version. It's not a little better, it's kind of a lot better.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know. I almost, dare I say, it may have been the best ride I ever had on that.
I think it might have been for me.
Definitely as an adult, for sure.
Because, yeah, I hadn't been on it in 8 years, I think. And it was really hitting for me.
Yeah, it was great. The things they have upgraded in the last decade or so, it all seemed to just work, and they just meld with the original stuff perfectly. You like the new hitchhiking ghost concept over the old one.
Oh, sure. Well, that was in place last time I was there. The time before this last time.
So you'd already seen that.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. Yeah, it's better than just a static figure
Yeah.
sitting in the car. Yeah, it's cool that they do something. That's neat.
Yeah.
And...
Pirates.
Oh, that's right. I was like, is there something else? Yeah. Oh, so Pirates, they were supposed to have a Halloween mode after dark.
Is that what that was?
Well, yeah.
I know why you forgot about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a mistake.
So what it amounts to is just they put a couple of pirate actor people in the queue and then also in the ride. But they don't do anything. They're like talking amongst themselves. Like they're mic'd up. So you're supposed to be able to hear
Well, the
them.
ones in the queue, were they mic'd up?
No, they were not.
Yeah, I don't think
but,
so.
Yeah, the ones in the ride.
So there's 2 in the queue and there are 3 in the ride.
Yeah.
Is how it broke out for us.
So yeah, there's in the ride there's one
Yeah.
where the sword fight is supposed to be, the shadow sword fight is
Right, where it used to, that projection used to be forever. That wasn't working even in the daytime.
Yeah. So I don't know if they turned it off for this or if it just wasn't working. But there's a lady pirate there and she's like yelling at you or the ship, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was like making really bad remarks like to the audio of Jeffrey Rush.
Okay.
Yeah, she was
The
responding
now
to
Jeffrey
the
Rush
pirates.
character, it shouldn't be. Yeah, she was responding to his, strike him down, blah, blah.
But it was
Whatever.
not
I think it's like
good.
all the same original lines, but it's all Jeffrey Rush now.
Okay.
It was so bad, though.
But then she was just
so
like,
bad.
what? It was almost what we saw last year in the pre-show to Fast and Furious. It was almost sort of that. It was sort of almost making fun of it in that weird 21st century millennial ironic way,
Yeah.
Like, what? What are you saying that? What does that mean? I'm just going to duck here. Oh, what's that? Look out. It was just like that. It was low energy. She just wasn't very good.
No.
All of them were like that though. Like the ones where there were 2 or 3 of them and they were just talking to each other. But it was just like a casual conversation that they were having. It was
that
very
was weird.
strange.
That was on the bridge, like in the middle of the burning scene. Old Bill is sitting on one side of it to the right. Right?
Yeah.
Is that Old Bill?
There were-
with the pussycats?
I don't know.
Nice
names.
little pussy. Old Bill looking for his pussy.
Okay.
You know what the 9 dirty old men were thinking when they put that in.
Oh yeah.
There were 2 of them, and they were sort of having a conversation. But then there were other employees standing next to them with like a clipboard and papers, writing
No,
stuff
yeah,
down.
in the moment that our boat went by,
Yeah.
someone was getting flagged maybe, or I don't know, it was a shift change, or what happened? Or they do a midday survey? I'd have no idea what the hell was going on.
I don't know what that was, but it
But
was
another
a little
employee,
distracting.
right, not in costume, just in their regular shirt
2
with
of
the name
them.
tag, came over and they started talking to one of them. Like, I don't know, they said something off script or something. I have no idea what happened there. But right in plain
It
sight
was
of
bad
us,
though. It
we
was
could totally
bad.
see this.
Yeah, that was bad.
At least like duck down behind the railing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
and yeah, before that they were just mumbling something we couldn't even understand.
They were talking about something that we had just floated by.
Okay.
They really fucked that
was-
auction scene up, huh?
Yeah, so like
Imagine they just go into that. They just like, I'm quitting tomorrow anyway. It's just like, so they really fucked that auction scene up, huh?
Yeah, it was last day.
but then they were also distracted by the 2 employees that were over to the
Yeah, I
side.
know.
Like
it
they
was
were like
awful.
kind of like trying to go through whatever their bit was, but not well. That just really ruined that ride. That did not help it at all.
Oh yeah, so it definitely made that ride through worse.
It ruined it because it was just like you had to try to hear over their bad mic'd up banter.
Yeah.
We had done it earlier in the day, but if we hadn't, it would have been more of an issue for me. Because it's like, I can't just enjoy the ride now. Like, shut up.
Right.
I want to enjoy this.
So was that it then?
I think so.
For Halloween
For like the ride stuff?
Ride stuff.
I don't think they changed anything else.
Kind of did Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
We didn't go.
It was listed
through
on the
it, though.
brochure. We didn't do it. It was used as a treat spot, actually, though. And then they just ran a perpetual. They would have someone telling jokes, but they were supposedly Halloween-themed jokes.
We should have done that.
Halloween-themed sets for that event. And this was the first year they did that.
Yeah.
But we didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't pop in there. Oh, well.
I don't know. Like, we showed the show as it was. We showed the full show before that, earlier.
We weren't too focused on candy, except for when I made you guys bathe.
Well, we ended up doing... We actually did a lot of trick-or-treating in the end.
Yes. Well, that is the other big thing.
We did more than I thought I would.
They have trick-or-treat stations. They give you a bag, and they just throw a handful of candy in there. And at the end of the night, I guess they really want to get rid of it. They give you like 2 handfuls, and they really fill your bag up.
It ramps up throughout the night.
Yeah.
Like, it'll start with like 3 pieces, and then like every time we went again, because it was a little bit later, it just got more and more. And then, 2 fistfuls by the end of the night.
Yeah. And then... You just wanted...
I just wanted a freaking 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, that's right, 3 Musketeers.
I couldn't get one, and I was like, can I, like, give you some of my candy back and get a 3 Musketeers?
Oh.
And that was the mean lady that was like, 2 pieces per person. But that was getting off a ride. I'm like, I can see the 3 Musketeers. I don't want these 2 pieces of candy. Just give me that one.
Yeah, that was getting really ridiculous how we just couldn't get a 3 Musketeers for a very long time. But I guess with requesting a piece of candy, I guess they just can't do that because every kid is going to request a piece and they can't hold up the line and stuff.
There was nobody behind
I can understand that
You guys
policy.
weren't
I know
even
it's
behind me
annoying.
at that point. You weren't, like, there was no other, like, non-employee there.
Yeah, if there's no one else there, that's, like, just give me the candy.
Just give me the Disney magic.
Well, you ran into that earlier, too, on the Peter Pan queue, where we hadn't gotten the bags yet. We hadn't done any trick-or-treating yet.
And I asked the guy if he had a bag. I didn't even ask for candy. I wanted a bag for future stops. And he was like, no, you have to have a bag first. And I'm like, well, but I don't have a bag. And then he was like, just here, take it. And like handed me some candy. I'm like, I really didn't even want the candy. I really wanted the bag.
Oh, I thought they couldn't give you the candy if you didn't have a bag.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
But then like forced candy into my hand anyway.
Huh.
That's what he said.
Well, okay, so
that was odd. So they were a little less than accommodating when it came to trick-or-treating.
We were also a group of 3 adults with no children.
Okay, granted. But it's Disney. They should cater to everybody.
And only one of us had any Halloween stuff on. Maybe if I would have been wearing the mouse ears instead of the cat ears. I was a cat.
Yeah,
that
you
night,
were in
right?
costume. We were not.
It was just ears.
It was just ears. It was ears and then a dress.
Okay.
Everybody loved your dress.
Yeah.
You got multiple comments.
So then is that it for like all the stuff we did?
Yeah, I
think that was a little okay.
And then we just did as many regular rides as we could.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So now, the deal with this is that they're open till midnight.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a 4 to midnight kind of thing. Or they let you in
well,
at 4,
it's 7.
but
it's 7 to midnight.
Really 7. Yeah.
And right, but with the Halloween only ticket, you can get in as early as 4 p.m.
Okay.
to the park.
So the other thing with this is that there's no fast pass. So it's like the park really should be all the time.
It's like the good old days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you just have to wait. There's no getting around it. So that was interesting because, well, what did we discover?
Well, I remember it was when we were waiting for Space Mountain, and I was having fun, but it wasn't the best time I ever had at the park. And so it was just, I was thinking, and then finally it just came to me, and I remember I said to you guys, like, you know what, I figured it out. This is just a scam. The problem is the park is way too crowded. I mean, it's a separate ticketed event. It's supposed to hold some kind of maximum. These things do sell out.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever that maximum is, it's way more than it should be. It seemed like it's almost whatever the capacity is on any regular day.
Right. Well, there was a point where I stopped and I said to you people, like, this doesn't feel any less crowded than any other day I've been here.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought it was going to be less crowded.
And like it should have.
It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we went on what was supposed to be the lightest day.
Oh, that's right.
We went on
a Tuesday night, too.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So that's supposed to, because it's not a weekend. So it should be the lightest of any day of the week.
Tuesday night in September. Not even October yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't let it get too close to Halloween yet.
And it was still packed.
So it's like, it's still regular day crowded in the end.
Yes.
So that's why, to me it was like a scam, because it's like, well, it's really the same number of people, and then the only advantage you get is they eliminate Fast Pass. So you're really just paying to turn back the clock and experience the park without Fast Pass. And for what it's worth, I mean, that does eliminate a lot of the extra weight. All the weights get bloated because of Fast Pass.
Yeah.
Right. So really, in the end, I don't think we waited any more than we normally would have for any of these rides, right?
Oh no!
Even with the regular Fast Pass system, if we'd gotten Fast Passes for Space Mountain and stuff, we didn't wait any more this time.
No,
or any less.
Everything, it was like, we did. Space Mountain was high at different points at the beginning and end. It was up to like 45 minutes, but there was a point in the middle, like when the fireworks and the parade was going on and people were distracted, and that's when we did it twice. And it was like 15, I think, each time.
Yeah,
we went through. So, which is a real like 7 or something, because this is almost always half of what it says, or at least a bunch of minutes less than what they advertise. So it was like 7 to 10 or something was what it really was. Just the walk is most of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so it's just they eliminate Fast Pass. It's basically, this is what any day in the park would still be today if they didn't have Fast Pass. It would just be that this is what the weights would be. So yeah, you get no Fast Pass. That's the one thing you do get. But other than that, they still let a shit ton of people in.
Way too many.
It's not as exclusive as it should be. It's really just a regular crowd. It's a really crowded day, actually.
You guys were telling me you did some research, and like the Disney bloggers or the big Disney fans were saying, "Oh, this is so great, the Mickey's Halloween Party, because it's way less crowded, or not that it's way less crowded, but the waits are so much shorter, and it's just fantastic." And it's like, well, no, you're not really waiting any less. It's just as crowded.
Well, that's what I realized too. It's like, the reason why you get the information fed that way to you, like from these Disney bloggers, all the Disney nuts, and the websites that are devoted just to Disney, the YouTube channels just to Disney, that kind of shit, is because they're not thinking about it. They don't realize, in their mind, Disney can do no wrong, and they're not thinking about it, in actuality, what it really is. It's just like, if you eliminate Fast Pass in any environment, any day in that park, if they only did Fast Pass on weekends and Monday through Friday they never had it or something, if they did something different in the future, this is kind of what it would be. They never would, Space Mountain is 45 at peak hours, at different times in the day, but it would go down to 15 a lot of times in the day too. The reason why it's up to 60 and plus all the entire day is because Fast Pass fucks it up.
Yeah.
People are cutting in front of you constantly. Or actually in that one, it's because you're running half capacity. You have everyone on standby is waiting for just half of it. And then Fast Pass dominates the other half. And stuff like Splash Mountain gets so backed up because of Fast Pass. And that's what inflates the wait times. So if you just never had Fast Pass, this is kind of what it would always be. Save for then there's the once in a while Saturdays where it gets insane, or the holiday weeks around December and February that would be still off the charts, even without Fast Pass. But, so that's really what they're doing. It's no Fast Pass, but for people who aren't thinking about it, they're just like, oh, this is great. And they must be letting less people in because how come Space Mountain's 15 minutes? All right, but it's because if you don't have Fast Pass, believe it or not, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
So anyway, so and it's funny, and I kind of was annoyed at myself when we were there and waiting to get on Space Mountain, because I fell for it. They got me again. Fuck. They got me again. Disney, but also just the greater Disney community. They got me because I just kept reading how great it is, and the waits are going to be so low, and I never thought about it beyond that. And I was like, well, they must let less people in, I guess, right? And then you're there, and it's like, wait a minute, they didn't let less people in. It's just no Fast Pass. That's the only thing, which is a positive. I'm not saying it's not, but that's all this is.
Okay, so aside from a ton of candy and a couple random shitty food options and one good burger, the main thing that people seem to love about this event is all the costumed characters. The characters are in their Halloween gear. We did not see any of them because we were too busy trying to ride Space Mountain, but that is one of the things that people love about this event. It's the only time you can get Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs all together in the same spot. There's supposed to be a lot of character opportunities. So if you have kids of the age that are into the characters, that's what you're really going for. And the shows, I heard the shows are really good. Again, we didn't see those because we're busy trying to have fun. real adult fun. But,
Yeah, as adult as fun can get at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
The roller coasters and the log flume, of course.
Yeah.
And the couple of great dark rides from the 60s.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
But there are still, just because we didn't think it was the best event ever doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't necessarily go, because there were cool parts to it, and especially...
Well, if you're drinking the Disney Kool-Aid, fine, go for it. I mean, I don't think I'm ever doing it again. I'll take my chances on a regular day, because it's the same crowd.
That's fine, I'm not
And then I can
talking
just
to
work the
you.
Fast Pass system, which I amaze myself that I can still do it. I really thought when they switched to Plus, it would be impossible, but I still managed to make it work. That was the bottom line. I probably shouldn't even admit this here, but I actually went twice in September. I was down in Florida for other reasons, and I ended up going to Magic Kingdom for a day also right after Labor Day weekend.
During the hurricane, so his opinions are going to be a little skewed.
It was
here,
during the
folks.
hurricane scare, so that did actually turn the crowd into less of what it normally is on a regular day, which also means it was less than what it was on our Halloween party night. And I had more fun that day. I would say I probably also had more fun last time I went with you,
Well,
Coaster Cat,
thanks.
as well. Again, working the Fast Pass system.
Yeah.
Like, since they do have it and it's there except for these couple of ticket nights, like for Christmas and Halloween, I guess I'd rather just have it. Just lay it on me and I'll figure it out. That was more satisfying still in the end than doing one of these parties and having to try to have no Fast Pass, but then I'm still annoyed that I feel like I got ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, you also have less hours with this party, too.
Yeah.
You're not getting the full, 12-ish hours.
Oh, yeah, it's officially only 5 hours.
So, yeah, it's a lot less time in the park, too.
So, I think we could say if you're like us, and I don't know how many there are out there like us, and you're trying to use stuff like this, like a ticket event to get more rides in maybe, or get the rides in easier, get in and out in 5 hours instead of having to take a whole 12-hour day to do the same rides that we did. If that's sort of your goal, like us, we didn't care about the special shit. We just wanted to ride. And I guess except for me, I could take myself out, but at least two-thirds of us don't go there as often. So we don't live in Florida. We don't go as often. So you're just trying to get shit in when you can. It's not the special ticket event didn't work. I would still say, my opinion, my advice would be go a regular day and just deal with it.
The one thing we were able to do, which I don't know if we would be able to do this on a regular
Let's
day.
end on a good note. This is good. Yeah.
This was actually pretty magical. We did a triple tap on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. We didn't have to get off. We didn't have to move from our seats.
A true triple tap.
Yeah. Incredible. At Magic Kingdom. I didn't think it was possible, but we actually did it.
Yeah.
Now this
like never, right?
This was
Never. I've never done.
You've been golf going since
I've
the
never
90s.
done that on any ride at any Disney park ever, I don't believe.
Yeah, never didn't have to get off.
Right.
The old I'm used to it at Six Flags in the last hour.
Yeah, sure.
But never, Disney. Never would have thought.
Now this was during the extremely popular parade.
Yes, it was during the later second showing of the parade in the 11 o'clock hour.
There was no other time during the night that would have happened.
Probably not.
That was a very special.
We just
Right,
hit it
we
right.
hit it perfectly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
we
did.
could have stayed on longer, but we wanted to do.
We could have done at
something
least a
else
fourth.
At least one more time.
We
yeah.
could have done a fourth, maybe a fifth.
But yeah, kudos to Disney for having that policy. That's really nice that they say, there's no one waiting for your seat, then you can just stay on.
Yeah.
That's
waiting
very
in a
cool.
row,
That was
just-
quality.
That's it. Go.
Because
That
I
was
wouldn't
really
have
fun.
thought that they would have that policy, but apparently they do.
No,
Good for
because even Universal can be dicks about that.
Oh yeah.
Oddly enough. But yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah. All right, so maybe that was worth doing the Halloween party. We have that badge of honor now. We have that experience. We can always remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that time we sat on Big Thunder Mountain, 3
Yeah, now-
consecutive without moving.
Now, if we happened to be at Space Mountain at that time, I'm sure we still would have had to have gotten off.
Well,
because
it's
there's
separate.
a separate
You can't.
load and unload.
Separate load unload. It's impossible.
So that's not that many rides that could probably work.
That's right. And a bunch of rides in Florida, both Disney and Universal, do have separate load unloads. So that does take that out of the equation too.
Which I normally love, but in this case, it was perfect that it didn't have it.
It's great that Thunder Mountain doesn't have it.
Yeah.
That is really great. And it was running awesome.
Oh my
it
god,
was-
it was so good.
That's another, dare I say, that may have been the best 3 rides I ever had on Thunder Mountain.
I think it was for me.
I mean, I haven't ridden that ride at night in a long, long time. Maybe since the early 2000s or something. I always end on Space and on the Tomorrowland side of things. So I hadn't been in Thunder at night in so many years. And it was just seemed like it was running just better than ever.
Yeah.
We were getting the air There's
Yeah.
There's a quick pop on the first segment, and then there's a really good airtime bump in the second segment. And then the third segment still was anticlimactic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Haven't fixed that yet. But those first two segments, it's that's up there for best mine train ever.
Yeah.
It's I probably would actually still say Everest is like the best mine train ever made. Overall a better ride, but Thunder Mountain on that night was superb. I think it was running better than Space. Space with no lights, not as good as an awesome night on Thunder with no weight.
You're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
I kind of agree, but you're breaking my heart.
It's tough.
No, it was really good.
Thunder was the star that night,
But
for sure.
Yeah, well, and then we should bring that. I just want to mention that quickly too. After all these years, because you had said this when we were there, everybody still wants to end on Space Mountain.
Yes.
Like, it's been since 1975, but people still want to end on that ride.
Well, because
they've never been able to top it.
And the reason I said that is because when we got off the second time, the fireworks had just ended, and then there was just a line of people just like starting from at least the launching pad, and that as far as you could see, and they were just filing into the queue of Space Mountain. And that happens on a regular day too. After the last fireworks or the parade, whatever's going on at that time, that's where everybody goes. They just make a beeline for their one final space to end the night. So yeah, it's just, and that's why I said, like, fuck, after all these years, still, it's where everybody wants to end. And we were thinking about that, like, they added all this shit, but it's like, yeah, nothing's ever topped it.
Yeah. The only thing, could Tron do that? Who knows?
Yeah, that's the contender, maybe.
It would be good if it did, because then we could go into Space Mountain.
Yeah, we're gonna like Tron better. I mean,
well, who knows?
Who knows, right? But
I'm gonna say no for me.
well, maybe it's good. Go in with a bad attitude, and then maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised.
No, I'm gonna.
It could blow you away.
I could love it a lot, but
Yeah.
you just said, are we gonna like it more than Space Mountain? That's gonna be
it's
like,
gonna be tough.
yeah.
Because I know I said this when we were
For
there.
me.
As we were turning the corner past Speedway. Because really, in any other park, anywhere else on this planet, probably, Tron is really the replacement for Space Mountain.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Anywhere else, they would have torn out Space Mountain, gutted it, and then this would have replaced it. But, of course, it's Disney, it's Magic Kingdom, it's Florida, and it's Space Mountain, for goodness sakes.
They cannot do that.
Right, they can't touch it, right? It's going to have to be there forever. I'm actually still kind of surprised they haven't redone the track yet. Because they already did that in Land.
Yeah, that's shocking.
And for whatever reason, it hasn't shown enough cracks yet or whatever to have to do it in World yet. But I'm sure they'll do that eventually, like in our lifetime. Like, it's never going away, though. So
Better
instead,
not.
they're putting like the same ride that would have otherwise replaced it, like a 21st century upgrade of Space Mountain. It's just going like right next to it, behind it, sort of.
Yeah.
Instead, they're just gonna have both on top of each other.
Well,
is what's gonna end
good.
up happening. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if that ends up splitting crowds in the future. But yeah, nothing else. Even Seven Dwarfs, nothing could. Seven Dwarfs gets a big line all day, but it's still not where everybody wants to end.
No.
Everybody floods to Space
That one's
Mountain.
easy to get at the end.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to end on that.
That one goes down to like 20 minutes at night, And just since you hadn't reviewed it yet on this show, what do you think of Seven Dwarfs?
Oh,
Mine Train.
it's not great.
Okay, perfect.
That sums it up.
It's not great.
No, that
Isolate that and just play that again anytime we talk about something that's ho-hum. It's not great.
the swinging action on the cars doesn't you don't feel it. They didn't use it. They didn't exploit it almost at all. Just
No.
the teensy bit in that third section. That is the best section, but even that's not great. It's too short. It's a very whatever ride.
Yeah, they held back a lot. They held back too much.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely has potential.
Oh, the system
ride
definitely
system
does.
has potential, and it's a kind of a shame that they didn't go all the way with it.
Yes. It's just weird to think about, though, with Tron. I know we're getting way off here. But
good.
Just that the coaster count in that park is going to be up to
God.
technically 6 because there's 2 sides of Space Mountain.
Yeah. 1,
Right?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
That's pretty weird to me. That park's going to have 6 coasters.
It's Coaster Park, really.
Yeah. All right. So should we move on to Horror Nights?
All right, so now the other side of the coin.
Actually, just before we get to that, really quickly, we did do Hallow Scream at Busch Tampa.
All right, now where's that quote?
It's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. We actually did do all the houses.
Well, we bought into the Fright Feast.
Yeah, we went to the Fright Feast.
Oh my god, the food was
That's how we did it.
Yeah, food's terrible at
Well,
Fright Feast.
we
They-
literally just paid for the fast lane. Whatever,
Yeah, it
whatever
was-
they call it. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
Cedar Fair. Whatever it's called there.
Fright Lane, right? Or whatever.
Right.
No, that's
What?
also Cedar Fair.
Oh,
Sorry.
all right. But whatever, you pay for that, and the first
Hour and a
and a half, yeah, you get front of the line pass in the houses, and we did it perfectly. We got on that last line right at the.
At like 89 minutes and some odd seconds.
No,
Yeah.
we walked out of the last house at 8:30 on the dot,
Oh, that's what it
which
was?
is when it
Okay.
went until
Okay, so there you go. So we
like
did it. Perfect.
like literally on the dot. It's crazy.
I don't know, the houses were fine. I mean, I wouldn't have to go through all of them. I think all of our favorite was the mental hospital one, right?
Yes, whatever that was. Psychopath something.
I think it was Insomnia.
Insanity Omnia.
I don't remember. But no, the mental hospital one was cool because that was one of the old stables, the old Clydesdale stables. That's where they put that.
Yeah.
They had one part where they had a big like demon monster like behind glass.
Yeah.
Or I guess they stuck it in a pit somewhere. I don't know what they did. It looked big and impressive.
I don't know how much of an illusion that was, but
Yeah.
it was very impressive though. But it was meant to
Yeah.
look like, I guess you were in a room, maybe on an upper floor or something in this mental hospital, and you were like looking out, and there was a giant demon in the street or something. It
looked humongous.
but
Yeah,
it
it was
looked
really
awesome.
cool.
It was a great effect.
Oh,
I
is
wanted to
this-
stand there longer, and they shoot you alone though.
yeah.
That was also where the walls were mattresses and moving.
That was like
Yes.
the finale.
That was
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
really neat how they came up with another spin on like instead of like the
rotating barrel.
or even just like the air-filled bags that you have to like push your way through.
Oh, that kind of thing.
It was like, yeah, they came up with like another take on that kind of thing. Where the walls would move from side to side. They were padded walls.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, the wall's squishy, and then it started moving. And
Yeah,
I was like,
that
what the hell?
was really
the
cool.
first second when you're in there though, it does mess with your head.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it
it
takes
was
you a second
really
to
cool.
register what's happening.
Yeah,
And it feels like, oh god, am I moving, or is the whole room tilting, or what's going on here?
that was really
It's
cool.
really interesting that, yeah. So it's the two sides of the padded room, the two walls, it's a hall, and pretty narrow, and then they move in unison. It's obviously it's all one piece, and
Yeah.
the hallway just kind of slides left to right every 10 seconds or something like that.
But you're not walking straight through. It was kind of like at an angle.
And the whole
It
thing was angled.
Yeah,
the
the
floor?
whole thing was angled,
Okay.
and it was sliding, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it was an awesome effect. We all loved it.
Yeah, so that was I think the coolest thing.
It was the final house we did, and at the end we all got applause from us, and we were all like, yeah, that's the best one. Yeah, the other ones were just kind of forgettable in a way, actually.
They definitely
Yeah,
were.
for me,
Yeah.
I don't know if the event has lost any quality. It was 3 years ago when we did it, and we reviewed it more in depth on an episode, 2016. But it didn't hit the way it did that year for me. The houses, we didn't even do them all that year, but the ones we did, like we did the Bayou one, and I felt like the Bayou, I remember it being much better than it was this year. I don't know if it has
Yeah.
lost quality or not, but
Has it lost quality, or are you just more? You've done so many more of them now.
well, that's the thing.
so many Universal ones.
Yeah, you're Universal horror.
when we did Hallow Scream back in 2016, we hadn't done Horror Nights yet.
Yeah,
that was
you brought that up.
that was
I
later in the trip
Yeah.
that we were going to do it. So I'm sure that plays into it.
had never done any Halloween Horror Night maze yet.
Yeah.
At that point, later that week we did, and then we never looked back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could have had something to do with it, because we both remembered the Bayou being pretty awesome, and then it was a little lackluster. And then the Motel Hell, that was less. That I'm more sure about, that they screwed it up, because they do rework them a little bit every year, and they give it like a new subtitle. And this year it was like an infestation. The Exterminators or something was was the tagline.
It looked like Ghostbusters.
yes,
Yeah, that was kind of
yes.
silly.
I don't know how on purpose that was.
Ghostbuster Exterminators. And then they didn't go all out with it. There wasn't any like real bug rooms. But also they removed a couple of the rooms that I did remember from 3 years ago that I thought were awesome. Like they had the hotel pool in like a large space with a dead body that had drowned in the middle of it. And like that was gone. I guess they changed that out for a different room or something.
They had the hot tub with the dead body in it.
Yeah, the
Not-
pool was
not
cool. I
good
don't know.
enough
I
for it.
really remember like loving that room. So overall, I didn't like Hollow Scream as much as I did the first time.
Yeah.
It was my
You
first
know.
time, and I did enjoy it in the moment. Although I
Okay.
remember not a lot of
Fair enough. I mean, overall, it's still one of the better regional park events.
Is it on par with Not Scary Farm? feel like it's a little bit below that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, again, just based on that was our 2017 experience there, and we had done Hard Ice already. I think Not Scary might be a little better.
Yeah.
Just that dark ride one, I'll never forget that. That was awesome.
The walking through the park, not through this.
Oh, yeah.
Like walking through the park, Knott's was way crazier. I
Yes.
feel like there was not.
Yeah.
I was holding on to you so tight at Knott's.
That was one of the only
and
times
this,
you were legitimately scared in just like the open scare
because
zone.
it was so fucking dark.
Yeah, they were coming at you from all
When you
angles. There was
can't
so much
see
fog.
anything. When you literally could not see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, that was cool.
So yeah, Busch didn't have the scare zones, but they do have the really fun rides. So anything that the rest of the Halloween kind of lacks for, it makes up with Monteo and Kumba.
And if you had to compare that to Knott's, no contest.
Well, yeah.
Busch, Tampa has the rides, Knott's does not.
No. All right. So I guess that's How Low Scream 2019.
Yeah, that's it,
Halloween Horror Nights 29.
Teen. 29? It works both ways, right? It was 29 and in
that's right.
2019. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Scare zones first. Let's get those out of the way.
Oh, yeah. Let's get that out of the way. We always do that.
Right when you walk in, they have like some sort of it's 80s themed again. So they have like arcade
Let's
cabinets
just, all right.
and
This was better than last year. I'm going to start out that way. I'll just
Okay,
say it.
sure.
I like this year better than last year. This year was sort of a sequel to last year, but this time they actually kind of went through with it, where it really was 80s themed throughout. Last year they kind of just said it was going to be 80s in the material, in the copy early on, and then like it wasn't really though. It was So they must have decided that in marketing, like after they had already been planning the scare zones and even the houses, because it didn't really come together. This year it came together, so I liked it. So yeah, so the first scare zone was very 80s.
Yeah, a lot of arcade cabinets and
But giant size.
giant
Yeah.
size. It's like a neon guy and I like
Stilt walkers.
Lady Gaga on stilts with nunchucks. It was really weird.
Lady Gaga.
It was cool. It was weird though.
Maybe it really been her for all we know.
It could have been. Who knows?
There was a couple of them. Did you only ever see one at a time?
They could have cloned her.
Okay.
She's pretty
Gaga
nuts.
plus Gaga clones. Okay.
She wears meat for God's sakes. I don't think she's into cloning.
Oh, so there was that. There was the Zombieland double tap
Oh,
scare zone
that was
stunt show
neat.
thing.
I was very surprised that they made a little phony SNS tower
They actually did. Yeah.
as a set piece.
And yeah, so that was actually that was better than I thought it was going to be.
The SNS
Because-
tower actually functioned as a little stunt show stage that they
Yeah.
would do like once every half hour or something.
It was that, but they also had a little booth that was supposed to be set up. I think like a lane game, like a game that you pay for at a carnival or at any park.
Oh yeah, that was.
But it was like totally caged off, and they had, I guess, one of the characters from the movie in there, like a good guy, and then every once in a while the zombies would swarm this booth and try and get to the guy.
They were on some kind of timer that they would all know when to go over there.
Yeah, so that was cool, actually, how that scare zone was not, it wasn't just plain zombies, it was like they tried to have these little shows every
Yeah.
once
Well,
in a
they
while.
actually like
Kinda
acted
cool.
a couple scenes from the movie out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. No, that booth was straight from the movie.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where Woody Harrelson makes his last stand, and they kind of fake out that he's going to be killed, but then he makes it, and he somehow inexplicably shoots like 100 zombies
Okay.
with like one
Yeah.
or two guns that he has or whatever. And we happened to be just exiting Mummy when one of those set off, so we got like a front row view of it.
I
We were,
joined
like,
in with
right
the
by-
zombies.
Yeah, we were almost practically in it.
Yeah,
Like, we were like
kinda
the zombies were as they were rushing it. They were kind of
We were right
got
next
caught,
to it.
we got caught in the rush. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that was
was
pretty.
banging
That was
on
kind of
it.
pretty cool. I like that.
All right, so there's that one. There was the Rob Zombie scare zone,
Oh, that was fun.
which was
I mean, I hated that.
that was pretty weird
I got in
Oh,
trouble.
I could-
because
Ugh.
it was really just like go-go dancers, like strip
Yeah.
dancers on towers.
It was just like a
like
strip
doing
club vibe.
erotic dancing, like
Yeah.
in just like a bikini top and bottom, and like and like boots maybe or something. Like that was it.
Yeah.
It was hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Don't tell them
Very
you got in
edgy.
trouble.
close to.
I feel like even for horror nights, it's like kind of edgy. I don't know. That
Well,
kind of sexual stuff.
I felt that was more of a return to what it used to be.
Okay.
Because I've seen stuff like I know they used to do stuff like that more frequently, and they had kind of shied away from it. But at least in one scare zone this year, they went for it. They used to blend sex in more, and then I think they kind of stopped because, I guess PC culture has only gotten worse over the last decade or more. People have gotten more uptight. So they kind of stopped, but also because they, Comcast and all that has happened in the intervening years. So the bigger company owning them. But anyway, I liked it. Why not?
They did have that one fully covered dominatrixy broad. With,
walking on the
whip
ground.
and shit.
Or she had like a throne almost, right?
Yeah, she had like her own little stage, but then she would walk around us a little bit.
And there was definitely a woman that was dressed up in what was clearly supposed to be like a Nazi uniform. It didn't have the swastika or anything on it, but that's definitely what they were hinting at.
Yeah.
Is that from one of his videos maybe or something?
I'm not sure. I know Rob Zombie directed the Werewolf Women of the SS segment of the Grindhouse double feature, the fake trailer. I know he directed that fake trailer. Maybe
I remember that.
It's hinting at that. I'm not sure.
All right, they had that, and then wasn't there a guy like playing Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
Was that
right?
supposed to be him? I think,
I
in the
wasn't
big
sure.
hat and
I know
beard.
the woman that he was with was supposed to be Sherry Moon Zombie, his wife.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to
So
be
it
them.
was supposed to be the couple. Okay.
I think it's supposed to be them on the stage to like across the exit to Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Okay.
And was there some sort of car from one of the movies or?
I think that was the
music videos
Dragula.
or something.
Was that Dragula?
Oh, I don't know what that
he
is.
rides in.
A lot of people were taking pictures of it.
Dragula, burn the riches and burn.
Oh, that's like.
And he
oh,
rides,
that's from that song. Oh,
the song is
Okay.
and he rides that. It's like some kind of. I think it's from the Munsters actually.
Okay.
I think it's a reference to something from like that Grandpa Munster did in an episode.
That sounds familiar.
So
okay.
it's kind of silly where it comes from, but
A lot
he
of
kind of
people
turned
were
it into
going
a.
crazy over that.
He turned it into like a metal song, made it kind of cool, I guess.
There were so many people
But
trying to take
doing
pictures
they
of
were
that
doing
and
like a
getting
photo
in the-
op for
yeah.
that. Really, like none of us are the biggest Rob Zombie fans.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the weirdest, dumbest one, but it was actually kind of cool and different, I suppose.
It didn't go for scares almost at all for the most part, and like
It was more just like
No.
a party.
it was more like it was
Yeah.
like
because his music was
it was
blasting.
like a metal club or something.
Yes,
It was just
yes.
scantily clad girls and.
Sexy metal club.
Yeah, yes.
But it was I actually liked it too. I to me it was just like a nice change of pace.
And then there was also the Viking scare zone. I think they were supposed to be like Viking zombies. I don't think they were supposed to be straight up Vikings.
That's just always the
Well-
excuse. It's like
that's
it's
the
whatever it is, zombies.
That was really awesome, I thought. It felt a little understaffed, but the stuff that was in there was really cool because they were going for some dark stuff. They had a couple of bodies that were just like flayed open and it just looked really
Just the
nasty.
props.
Yeah,
Off to
really
the sides.
grotesque human body mutilated
Oh yeah,
props.
just really really dark and extreme imagery,
Yeah.
gory.
Yeah. I feel like we walked through there a lot, and only once did I see it. But there was one of those zombie broads was ripping apart one of those bodies and like eating it, and it was so much
they
cooler
were doing that-
when the character was actually there doing it.
Oh, they did that a couple of times, and they had like a
and you heard the bone crunch.
right. They must have been able to control a sound effect with their feet or something because they had like a bone crunching and like just a flesh ripping sound effects that they would have.
It was
Yeah.
really
Well, you were
around those
saying
bodies.
It seemed like they were using that sound effect a lot. Just throughout the event in some of the houses too, that bone crunching, flesh ripping effect, like more than the past couple of years, that at least since we had started going.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, I liked it.
It was,
I thought
yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
cool.
really gross and really cool.
A good touch.
Yeah, and then there was Vanity Ball, which this is a great idea. I think this was my favorite scare zone because it was about these people like hooked on plastic surgery and then they take it too far. They look all grotesque and fucked up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
weird grotesque
yeah.
faces. It was awesome.
That was
That
cool.
was
Like
so
a
cool.
weird medical scare zone. That was pretty neat. And they they had they were doing a little show here and there too, where they were like ripping someone's intestines out and like just wrapping
yeah.
around their neck and
You
stuff.
saw that they testing rip.
That was awesome.
Like one of those never-ending scarf gigs, except it was the intestines.
yeah. That was silly, but it was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. And they had a little catwalk where they would do like a little fashion show.
Yeah, occasional like fashion shows. And I guess the idea was they were trying to encourage us to now get extreme plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah,
Sort of
yeah.
it was like who's next, or they would have like the chairs, a couple of chairs set up off to the side in booths, little staged booth things, and trying to recruit the next person. So they had both the doctors doing this extreme surgery and then the patients.
Yeah, and they had
walking around.
like club music playing, so it was supposed to be like a party too.
Yeah, they had like Madonna, right? They had sort of a weird plastic surgery Madonna, sort of.
Not also
exactly,
Lady Gaga.
with the cone tits,
Oh, okay,
Oh.
And I think Boy George was the guy one that was sort of identifiable with the
okay.
hat and that look. They was kind of went for that.
Oh, I missed both of them. All right.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun one.
And
Does that just leave the unnamed one?
and then of course, yeah, they always have that weird one that's out in front of Simpsons.
Well, I'm sure we've asked the question before, but I think it's official now. We've got enough years that we know it's like this is just whatever it is. It's just
it's the chainsaw area.
gang. It's like they're just a different
the chainsaw miscellaneous costume.
yeah chainsaw
Yeah.
in miscellaneous costume area in Springfield.
Oh, my favorite part of that zone. You guys remember?
I know what you're gonna say.
Oh man, that one guy that I don't know if his thing was broken or what, but he was like chainsaw noise.
Yeah, he was good.
Vroom.
He didn't have his chainsaw working, so yeah, he just kept doing that.
That was absolutely my favorite part.
And we
of
know
that
he would do that
zone.
for like all night because we walked by 3 or 4 times, and every time we saw him either doing it to us or someone else.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was always
Chainsaw
my
noise,
favorite.
chainsaw noise. Be scared,
That was good.
and then he just keep going.
I feel like even if his thing was working, he would still just keep doing it because it was getting better reactions than
You
the
see
real
that like
chainsaw.
he was just that kind of. He was the
Yeah.
comic relief for the night.
Yeah, he was just doing vroom vroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of fun.
And there was another thing before we move on from scare zones that was really funny. In the Zombieland scare zone, they had these porta potties set up, and
Oh, that was awesome.
if you
Yeah.
open the door to one of them, like it looks like a zombie's like pissing at you, and water would shoot out
Yeah,
really pretty far.
I got pissed on at least twice.
Yeah, like a real stream.
Yeah.
real arc to it.
And there's like actually like a zombie like sitting on the bowl.
With
Yeah.
his dick hanging out.
Yeah, and like, so that was hilarious.
Well, you didn't see that, but
All right.
it was implied, obviously, where it was coming from, though. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the water arced out into the midway.
Yeah.
That zombie, I think, was like a mannequin. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there were on the couple of other ones, there was occasionally a real character would be hiding in it, waiting for someone to come by or whatever.
Yeah, that was a clever idea. Because I thought they were real porta potties when I first saw them. I didn't know that they were just being used for scares.
Yeah, we didn't understand why they were like roped off when the event first started. And then
Yeah.
The next time we walked by.
So so I wonder if a lot of people were falling for that, thinking, oh, I gotta go, and they get peed on.
That was a great idea. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
a lot.
quality.
Houses. Where did we start? We started with Ghostbusters.
We started with Ghostbusters. We went for the big boy right off the bat.
Yeah.
Insert cool music here.
Yeah, play the music, please.
Yep.
No, put on the real song.
Oh, sorry.
Shit happens. Who are you gonna call?
So the Ghostbusters house, it was, they actually went for some scares. I thought it was going to be more, they were going to go for like laughs and make it goofy and stuff, but they actually went for a bunch of scares.
It was kind of, actually, it was more scary than it was funny. But I mean, it was all fun, but because scares are fun, for us and for a lot of people. But it was kind of intense, actually, in a lot of ways.
like the Slimer. Like they had
Oh, fuck, that Slimer.
2 Slimers that, popped out of nowhere.
He kept getting me, that guy.
Yeah, one of them actually got me.
He's never
Hit
been
me
so
right in the
scary.
nose.
Yeah, that was really cool how they were able to do that. Because I guess, was it real arms?
Yes, because
Oh, no,
one of them
okay.
touched me.
Okay, so, oh really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So it was a real person's arms, but it was like a giant rubber Slimer, like I guess that fit not over the person, or maybe it was like in front of the person somehow. I don't know. It looked
Yeah.
great. It was a great
It
effect.
was.
It did
Yeah.
look great. And it proves that, you could say that the Ghostbuster ghost designs were kind of hokey or goofy and maybe went for more laughs than scares in the movies even. But like, it just goes to show you, like, if it did happen to you in real life and that Slimer was coming at you real quick, it would be scary.
Yeah, sure.
Because even though he's kind of, if you stare at him long enough, he's kind of cartoony and silly, but it's still freaky. It's like a big blob, and it's like, blah! When he comes at you quick, it's still scary. Mm-hmm. It's not human. It's a humanoid sort of face form, but it gets you.
And they did have one character in there, the Janine character, who actually talks. Wasn't just like a soundtrack, synced up to a soundtrack thing. They actually had a live actor in there.
Yeah, she had
Saying
like a
lines.
microphone on. Like,
Yeah.
A little like stage mic. I wonder how many Janines they have, though.
Oh, they gotta have a lot.
We did it twice, and like, I don't know, she looked the part and like sounded the part.
Yeah.
So it was like perfect. I don't know how many people you could find that would work like that.
Oh, they gotta have at least 10 or something. They gotta have a lot.
Oh, of course I know they have to, but it's
Yeah.
just like that worked really well for me. Like it did feel like it was Janine. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah, she was really good. Yeah.
That was a fun scene right at the beginning. Well, the library was first, right? It really does follow the story of the movie.
Oh yeah,
in order,
completely.
The way it should.
Yeah.
They didn't go for any abstract bullshit or anything. It's just straight up like the scenes of the movie. You know what scene you're in every moment of the house. Library was great with moving books, stack of books. I love how they did the librarian scare, and that got me the first time like hard, like, and that was the first house we did in the beginning of the first house. So I started off with a really major jump scare. They did like a hologram of her shushing you, and then you turn the corner, and then
And out of the black.
how they did like an all black hallway for a second, and then and then air puff, and then the great jump scare by his character in the costume that looked, mostly like that monster did in the movie, that ghost.
Yeah, and then the loud "Rawr!"
And the sound effect, and it was just, that was awesome. That got me.
Yeah, that was great. I love the when you're supposed to be in Sigourney Weaver's apartment. I forget her name.
Yeah. Dana. Barrett.
Dana, right, Dana Barrett. And they had the Zool hand coming through
Oh, Zulhan.
the
that
door
was
or
great.
whatever that was.
Yes.
That was great because that got me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting that. Just the hand to pop
That's great.
right in front of you.
And that's a little different. I don't know if I had seen that previously at a Horror Nights. And we haven't
yeah.
been to the majority of them, but that was cool. I like that.
Yeah. And then even the Ghostbusters themselves, when they would pop out of a
Yeah.
doorway or something, they would, be jump scared.
They used the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters to be scares.
Anybody seen a ghost? Or whatever they said.
Well, Egon, they actually kind of figured it out. They were capturing Slimer.
Yeah,
Scene.
they did.
They had him going in the trap and with the beam of the gun, or they're called proton pack, whatever. Around him, and then that was Egon, I think, right? That was Egon. Was like the one on that side of the hall.
yes.
It's supposed to be like, in the ballroom.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
then
guess
Ray
so.
would pop out on the right.
It was really well done. They even, like, at the
It was
end,
great.
when they blow up the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it smelled like toasted marshmallow in there.
That was cool. They figured out how they did like big projection face of Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Like full scale though, it was really cool.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were going to do that, and they did it really well. Yeah, it was, one running theme, it seemed like this year, was all the houses just felt a little more intimate. The hallways just felt a little narrower, and everything felt just closer to you, I don't know, than
Yeah.
the past couple of years.
I felt they didn't go for any real true big rooms this
Yeah.
year. It was, I think maybe it was the top of Dana Barrett's apartment building with Gozer.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest room out of everything.
And even that
At the
was still
event.
kind of like
Yeah.
half size to what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Because it was still kind of on top of it. It was pretty close, but it was a big set. They tried to make that whole top of that building with the columns and she's standing there.
Yeah, the
that's
Are You a
kinda
God scene. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a nimble little minx, isn't she? That's
Does he say that in the movie?
Bill Murray says that.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Venkman.
Yeah. All right, so it's good. Good house.
So great house. By the time we did it we did do it twice. We did it later on too, the second day. By the time we did it the second time through, we did to see all 4 Ghostbusters. So we did have actors playing all of them at different points. Venkman was at the end with a little marshmallow on his head, just a little bit.
Yeah.
All of the that's great in the movie how the other 3 get covered in it, and he just has a little bit like
Yeah,
on the side
yeah.
of his head, and that's it.
That
But
is
he's
funny.
mostly clean. That's just classic Bill Murray. He just refused to like get dunked in a whole thing of it or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that'll be too silly. I should just be like mostly clean. And they just said yes. Although that was funny. They misplaced a line because they have him standing there with a goofy look on his face. The guy, whoever's playing him at that time, it's we came, we saw, we kicked its ass, which is actually from when they catch your Slimer.
Yes.
But they have it in place in the house as if it's after they defeat Marshmallow Man.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
it's not. So they misplaced that line. I guess they just thought it'd be fun at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little weird that they did
But,
that.
almost
it's
everything
fine,
else was
though.
like movie perfect except for that, which is kind of weird. But everything else is kind of perfect. They even did Dana Barrett in the chair,
Which she wasn't there the first time. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we went through again because
Yeah.
I'm like, there's just a chair with some
Yeah,
arms.
2 Dana Barretts, and they had like sexy possessed Dana Barrett, also, and Louis Tully,
Yeah.
also
yeah.
possessed. Yeah, great house.
Yeah. And then what did we do next? What did we do after that?
After
do
that,
Us?
we did Us.
Okay, Us. Jordan Peele's Us.
We did it for us. This one's for us. No, actually, it wasn't. This one was just for people who like that movie,
Yeah.
which was not us.
Yeah, I wasn't
Right?
Wasn't really a fan of the movie.
2/3 of us have seen it. I didn't see it, but
I watched it on
I know
my
all
dad.
about it now because I read the Wikipedia and I heard you guys talking about it for a while while we were waiting online.
I mean, they did the movie. It was a fine house. It was really kind of forgettable for me.
The one thing I remember is like you walk into the Vision Quest house or whatever. So that was kind of cool, and the owl was there that popped out.
It was completely faithful. Like,
It was good.
Like
Okay.
it always, like all these houses are.
Oh, they had the rabbits.
Not enough.
They had not live ones, but they had some
They
rabbits
went with
there.
stuffed rabbits, though.
Some stuffed rabbits.
I guess they had to.
Yeah.
They should have brought in real ones, and then I would have stolen one and brought it home.
They had it raining a little bit before you walked into the fun house when you're supposed to be outside.
They do that in that building every year. Or at least they did last year too.
Yeah, they had there was a few instances of that in the event overall this year.
Yeah.
They went for the little rain, but I want to. It was kind of intense. I remember you were getting really scared, Kat.
I was
on that one.
Okay, was that when I was in the height of. I started bronchitis during this trip, so I was a little more sensitive than normal.
So that was just like you were in between taking
I think I
your
might
pills
have.
or whatever.
Yeah, I
and you were
think
just
I
kinda-
might have been feeling a little under the weather at that moment, and like.
Because you just were getting a lot of startles, more than usual.
Yeah, normally I see them coming and then don't get scared usually. This time I saw them coming but got scared anyway. So I think that was more not to do with the house but to do with my state
Okay.
at that time.
Because
the house was not
it just felt really, it did feel kind of dark and intense.
Yeah.
But it was because it was the second one we did after Ghostbusters. So we started off on kind of a lighter note and then went into that, and that was a little more down and dirty. Yeah, it was fine. I had no problem with it. Yeah,
I don't remember any of the actual scares though.
What and to the two that have seen the movie, what was the first thing you said when we finished?
Yeah, it was better than the movie. A lot of people like that movie, but I don't know. I didn't care for it that much. What did we do after that?
All right, so we went over to House of 1,000.
Oh, House of Thousand Corpses.
Actually, next we went straight across the other side of the park. I'm the one who brings the Christmas candy. I'm the one who brings the devil's brandy. It rhymes, which is kind of silly.
Oh,
That's like, no, I think it's I'm the one who brings the Christmas candy. It's like I'm Santa. And I'm the one who brings the devil's brandy.
Okay.
I'm the one who beats you when you're bad. I watched that. And then the two girls were like, "Who's your daddy?"
So, House of a Thousand Corpses.
So that's what we did next. Yeah. So we should say we really did this year just make use of the app more than ever. I had looked. I mean, we went. It was I think the third weekend already of the event. So there was some touring plans out there to be found on the web. Some people suggesting how to do it, based on what the first couple weekends had sort of done, business that the different houses were doing. But I really didn't use it. I just kind of threw that out the window and just worked the app and just whatever one didn't have much of a wait at that moment, we ran and did it. Because that's one thing, we're not opposed to just crisscrossing the park as many times as we need to make it work for ourselves.
Yeah.
A lot of people people that go there are, so they're just going to do them in order and take more breaks than we would or that kind of thing. So we just kind of worked it. And just, so like we came out of Us and then House of 1,000 Corpses had like 15 minutes or something. It was really low, 10 maybe. It was really low. And we hoofed it over there. I'm like, let's do it. That's just how we did the whole event. And
good,
by
though.
doing
It
that,
worked.
by going on, first we went on a Wednesday. We went on a night that should be less crowded. By doing a Wednesday and by just working the app and just being willing to go wherever we should, not worry too much about an order, a predetermined order we had in our minds or anything like that. By doing that, we got all 10 in one night.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll just throw that little tidbit in
great.
right now, since I just thought of it. But yeah, so the House of 1,000 Corpses we did as our third house. That's the one that's utilizes like the extra Men in Black queue, and it's in like a little. I want to say it's a 10. Right? That's actually a 10 house. That location.
I think it might be.
And Blumhouse last year.
Yeah, those babies.
Babyface. It's your House of 1,000 Corpses. Was it fried chicken and gasoline? Right.
It's Captain Spaulding's Museum of Madmen and Mayhem or something like that. And they have fried chicken and gasoline.
Yeah, I think fried chicken and gasoline.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I think that came straight out of the movie, and that was perfect.
Yeah. So that's where you enter that museum.
That might win my vote for the best outdoor fun.
Yeah, and they had a cool they had a clown there that was it was a real person, but it was posing like it was a mannequin.
Oh yeah,
and would move. You know,
it's also straight out of the movie. Right? I think that isn't that in the
that
movie?
clown
and his gas station. I think there's that one of those creepy clown, mechanical clown things.
I don't remember.
That like I've never seen in real life. I've only seen in movies. I know like Pee-wee's Big Adventure has that one.
Oh yeah, right.
And Killer Clowns. From Outer
And
Space.
Killer Clowns, yeah,
Does
that's
that
right.
gag because then one of the clowns like mimics one.
Yeah,
later in the movie. Like I've never seen one of those in real life. I don't know if they have. You know, maybe it was a thing in the 80s. I know House of Corpses is set in the 70s.
70s, yeah.
So maybe that was a 70s, 80s thing, like in malls or whatever. I don't have any idea. Wasn't alive back then.
But this house, you know, this delivered on the mayhem. It felt pretty chaotic. The movie's chaotic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot they're throwing at you with characters dressed up in different costumes and rooms filled with a ton of wacky shit. Just clutter everywhere. I don't know. I thought it was well done. It felt kind of intense.
It did.
Not kind of. It was intense, that house.
It hit all the notes. It had all the characters. Captain Spaulding was there in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then and Otis is definitely there. And I don't know if I noticed anyone else, actually.
They had a.
It definitely had
Baby. Cherry Moon.
They must have had
Zombie
her,
was there.
right?
Yeah. And the other, you know, older, obviously grandfather or whoever character. You know, it's showtime, that guy.
Ah, yeah.
They had them all there. And Dr. Satan at the end and
Oh, yeah, there was Dr.
the
Satan.
whole
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah, they did it all. They sort of did the that one room that's made out of human bones and skulls entirely. That was pretty cool. So that looks amazing in the movie.
It's also from the finale, right? It's part of the
yeah.
Dr. Satan when they go underground thing.
Yeah.
And then his assistant
Is really the one
which is really the father. Is that?
I don't know.
Is it implied or is it ever actually? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I didn't rewatch it for this. I did see this movie years ago.
It's like I did, and I just can't remember.
And you still don't know.
But
I thought it was implied that was the father of the patriarch of the family, and he ended up going crazy and helping Dr. Satan or something. But
maybe I don't know.
he's got some weird mask on, and he's like a breathing
there's
apparatus.
There's
or
two
something.
things. Yeah, there's Dr. Satan who's doing like the weird surgery stuff, and then there's like this other just big brute that also has like a big mask on.
Yeah.
That chases the girl around at the end. He was there too.
And he comes in for some good scares. Yeah.
Yeah. It was all good. They even did. There I think it was 2 rooms where it's like screens on the walls, and they show like some black and white footage of some other older horror movies and stuff. Because that's in the movie a lot. There's a lot of intercut footage of these old black and white horror movies. It's terrible in the movie. I really hate that shit is in there.
No.
The movie's actually really kind of horribly edited. But it was kind of fun to see it in the house. They actually incorporated that into the house.
Well, they figured some way to get it in there, which is that's what Universal's great at.
Yeah. It was such a prominent part of the movie. They had to put it in the house.
So it was cool.
All right. So what do we do next?
And next we went over to Nightingales.
Wait, wasn't it? There's another. Isn't there a subtitle? It's like Nightingale's Bloodbath or something.
You gotta redeem yourself from last year, buddy.
I know. I screwed
When you
up.
called one of the houses by the wrong name the entire episode.
Yeah, I know. It's Carnival Carnage.
It's Carnival Cruise,
Carnival
right?
Cruise, right?
I'm gonna do that one. Haunted Cruise Line.
Yeah, that's Universal's cruise line. Disney has a cruise line. Universal's will be just ghouls
like
scaring you in your cabin.
Like a
Like-
Halloween
Yeah.
one.
Like you're stuck on a boat for 7 days of people jumping out at you.
yeah,
You walk
it's
around.
a ghost ship.
I don't think I'd
All
like
right.
that at all.
It's Nightingale's Blood Pit.
No, it's Bloodbath.
Yeah. Now let's just say
doesn't sound
Bloodbath the entire rest of the episode.
Yes. Nightingale's Blood Pit. Okay, so this was the one that was set in Roman times, but it's these creatures that are really after you. Yeah, this one was really... They tried to make it really gory, and I don't know, but this one didn't do a whole lot for me.
Was this our least favorite? All of us?
I think it may have been a unanimous least favorite
Yeah.
by all of us. Yeah.
Was it just random gore? There was these weird creatures
It was
eating the
it was
the people?
gory. It was very very gory, had some real hardcore imagery. Kind of is in the same vein as the Viking scare zone that we just talked about earlier. That this one had those same bone crunching sounds, and a lot of the creatures just munching on dead humans. But yeah, we never really figured out what they were.
Yeah.
They had these weird 3-pronged hands. Was it hands? They're hands, right?
I don't know.
It looked kind of hokey, actually. I know they had like a dead one at the front, like as part of the entry experience before you get into the tent.
Wasn't it eating like a horse?
Or was it actually a
person
character?
or something?
Maybe it was a person. I thought maybe it was just a. Yeah, it was on top of a horse.
Yeah.
It was eating a horse. I thought maybe it was just a mannequin, but and it had that hand, and it just looked silly. It looked so phony.
That's when I remember seeing it. Was outside of the house.
It was like a deformed. I heard someone say this when we were waiting, I think, for the next house, because they may have done it those two in the same order as we did. They were calling them like chicken people or something.
I was about to say, didn't it have like a beak face?
So was it actually? I don't know if they were getting that from like a source, like they knew that. Is that what it was supposed to be?
I don't
Or
know.
if they were just going with that's what they thought it looked like. Because they were kind of saying it, kind of like laughing though, like they kind of thought it was stupid, like too. Because it was almost like some kind of weird chicken people.
Yeah, I could see the 3-pronged cloth.
Right, it was like
hand
chicken
thing
feet
as
for
like
hands.
A chicken feet, yeah.
Chicken feet for hands. Good idea. And then like maybe it was sort of almost beakish faces. It was.
I can't remember.
It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to. I wasn't really enjoying it. I did get some blood spatter in that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that one had a little bit of, obviously water in actuality, but it's supposed to be like you get caught with some spatter from when they're gnawing on one of their victims, like biting into someone's torso or the neck or something. And like, so that was like, I always like when there's something like that, something tactile, something comes at you. I like that.
Yeah, I think that I got sprayed with something in almost every single one of these houses this year.
Well, a couple of those might have been accidents. I don't know.
Well,
was just me, I'm
I got the
sorry.
blood spray. Oh.
I got a little excited. I love Ghostbusters. But yeah, it was not the best house. So I guess we'll say here, the opinion of all three of us. If for whatever reason you could not do all of them in your experience at Halloween Horror Nights, this would be one to skip.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say you'd be missing the least if you skip this one.
Yes.
If you can only do 9 out of 10.
Everything else had more to offer.
Yeah, this was our least favorite. So next we did, I think it was right next door, Depths of Fear.
So this one was about like a deep sea mining rig, I guess, that gets overrun by these sea creatures. I don't know, what do they look like?
They look like Creature from the Black Lagoon, kind of
Kind of like that.
Which is funny because they also had him elsewhere, so
Yeah.
I think they would have made it a little different. I would just say, like, as far as like genre, it seemed like they were going for almost kind of a B movie, a B movie creature feature kind of vibe is what they were going with.
But, like, we were underwater, like, in this thing. I think we were supposed to feel a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in. I kind of thought of it as a submarine. I don't know if it was supposed to be that exactly, but
I don't know if they were playing off this or not, but it's similar to Deep Star 6, that movie.
okay.
Where again it's like this ocean mining company gets overrun by some like alien sea creature. But
Okay.
I really like this one a lot. This was I think my second favorite overall.
Yeah, it's based on the way we just introduced it. It seemed like maybe we were going to go the other way with that. And
Yeah.
this was not good either, like Nightingales. But no, they did. This was a great one, actually.
And this was
worked.
this was another one where they went for gore
Yeah.
and some really nasty imagery. Like
yeah.
there was a woman who shoved her entire fist and forearm into like another person, but it was a mannequin, into their mouth and like down their throat. And I'm like, Jesus, they're really going for that, huh?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it was
that
a
was
weird
really gross.
deal. It was like
And awesome.
there was these like B-movie style like man-like sea creatures, walking
Like lobster hands or something, maybe? Or-
Yeah. But then I guess they were going with almost a vampire or zombie-like thing too, where like maybe if they bit you, you became possessed and then you started eating people or whatever.
Yeah,
Because that's what.
yeah.
Then there was like humans, like that one you just mentioned, that were attacking other humans and like pulling out their insides and eating them or whatever. Even the little pre-show sort of video as you're walking in the first room is like the captain of this rig or sub or whatever it is and he's calling for help, doing a mayday because like he's saying how his people are all possessed, and then one girl comes up behind him and like attacks him.
Yeah, they actually shot a video for that.
Real
No, he was
quick.
actually saying, "Don't send the rescue team." He was telling you,
Oh,
to,
like
to
just
stay away.
Just let us die, and
Because
we're
we're
Yeah.
so
done.
overrun.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
That's what he was telling you. Yeah, because and then we're walking in there. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to be the ironic part.
so we're like kind of the rescue team, I guess. In that.
Yeah, we're supposed to be the rescue team. And they're like, "Don't send the rescue team."
Which is unique, actually. They don't really go for a reason why you're there.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like rides. It's like they don't do that when it comes to horror nights. It's usually just you're here because it's horror nights and you're gonna walk through the movie
Yeah.
or the show. And then that one it felt more like a ride setup,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun with the little pre-video and everything.
Yeah, and I liked how the first room in that house, it was they showed one of the sea creatures that had gotten like torn in half, I guess. So it was just like
Yeah.
the torso hanging from like chains over a pit. And then
So like they did catch one early on,
Yeah.
and dissect
Yeah.
it or something.
and then a little later on in the house, they had like the same thing, but it was a human body that was like cut in half,
all the way
hanging
around.
from chains over a pit. Yeah, that was neat.
I did not pick up on that.
A great
like,
touch. I didn't either, but that's a great
Yeah.
touch. Now that you mention it, but that was just that house just was really well done. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
for an original, it just like what you just like they really did think it through.
Yeah.
Whoever worked on that house really thought about it, and it does sort of tell a story.
And it
you
did.
know.
It did feel like we were in a station underwater. Like there was water dripping from places. Like
The sets
you
were
know.
great on
Yeah,
that
The
one too.
sets were
yeah,
really
they
cool.
figured out how to work real water in on a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Which
it's
And
is
just
great.
that had some screens too. Like there was
Oh,
there,
a lot of
there
digital
were,
effects too on that one. Yeah.
Some creatures and maybe some people like in the water that like you were supposed to be looking through the glass.
It's supposed to be
or
a window
whatever.
into the ocean,
That
but
was kind
it
of
was
cool.
screens. But yeah, and they did a couple of those moments too.
Oh, I think I missed
There
that.
was-
somehow.
Oh, did you?
I think so.
Well,
It's like,
I think
damn,
that a lot of
gotta go
those
back.
a lot of those screens, I think maybe right around the corner was something like a real something jumping at us or whatever.
Well, that's just Horror Nights for you. It's like
Yeah.
it's so dense. You gotta
Well,
be looking
yes.
around a
But
lot.
that's why it's so good because you go to any of these ones on Long Island and you're like, oh,
yeah.
you just roll your eyes at the lack of
Yes.
people and props.
But yeah, it just somehow felt really damp and gross in there.
Yeah, but
And I
in
don't-
such a good way.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was my imagination or if they really did kind of turn the AC up. It did feel a little chilly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Slight elevation change in there.
Probably
And
was.
Yeah, like
Which
you were
was
going
neat.
down ramps and up ramps
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
to
Which-
like because you were going through different parts of the ship.
Yeah,
it was
like
really
you
cool.
like you would do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, that was a great one. I love that one.
One cool little more open scene where there's one guy toward the end, and it was kind of like it was almost like a little bit of a spinning tunnel effect with lights, but it was just behind him. You didn't walk through it, but he was there doing scares.
And then like the classic like come this way, but really they jump out and scare you.
Oh yeah, there was one like it was another rescue team member. Like there was one
This is the way
that
out.
also was there for a scare. She was holding like a gun with a silencer
Oh,
and like a wetsuit
Yeah.
that was a little open.
oh, that's right.
And
That's
like you
right.
saw a bikini top or whatever, going for a little sex there too. And like yeah, that was cool. That was when they do that, when they scare you with the good guys
Yeah.
too.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
great house. That,
Yeah.
that, I think that was probably the best original one.
I think that was my favorite.
Oh, maybe not.
Original
All right, no,
house.
maybe not. We'll get to it. No, we'll see.
Okay. All right. What's next?
All right, then next we did Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
Clowns with a K.
Yeah.
So you know it's got to be good.
This was a really fun house. This was more fun than Ghostbusters for me.
Wow, you go that far.
I mean, I don't like the movie better. I like Killer Clowns fine. It is a fun movie, but it's very very silly.
So silly.
But the house, I had more fun in this house.
Well, I will say it captured the vibe of the movie.
Yes,
Or the
it did.
spirit of the movie, you might say. Because that Killer Clowns is a movie that is more comedy, I guess, than horror. So it captured that. I mean, so was Ghostbusters, but I don't know. I guess they went for more serious scares for whatever, anyway, in the maze. Whereas Killer Clowns was more of the comic relief for this year.
They had a lot of clowns in there, and
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know, it was all good stuff. They found a way to do the Clownzilla, the giant clown
Yes,
there
at-
where he's like towering
the end.
above you. That was another room that was kind of big, but was,
Yeah.
but not really big.
yeah, so he was still kind of on top of you, which was cool.
Yeah.
It felt menacing.
Yeah.
And they had some good guy scares in there too. Where in that scene, one of the good guys
the
pops
brothers,
out from the side.
Ice Cream Brothers, whatever their names are.
And then the very last scare is a guy who's like, "Want a popsicle or something?"
They went for a silly ending with, again, one of those brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we knew because they did the Scare Zone last year, so we knew they nailed the clown costumes.
Yeah.
They looked just like they did in the movie.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
the faces didn't have all the animation, like all the animatronic stuff, but that they did for the movie. But still, they looked spot on. So we knew were going to have that there, and then they did some good scares. Yeah, they jumped out at you, some clever ways, but they also just kind of messed with you a little bit, like the boxing guy. The guy with the boxing gloves, the shorter guy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Yeah, that's funny. That this one doesn't follow the movie. The house doesn't really. They kind of mix things up.
It is a little more abstract. This one is a little more abstract. It's more just like occasional glimpses of things that are kind of iconic from the movie.
Yeah.
Just kind of thrown in a mixed up order.
They did do the shadows.
They did do the shadow puppets.
You said they did the doors, which I missed.
I missed that too.
I missed it the first time, and then the second time through, it was somewhere between the buttons. No, it was where the two lady clowns were.
Okay.
The big balloon tits, big balloon tit clowns. It was like they were. So I think we were always distracted by them for the most part.
Okay.
But that was also not really movie accurate because they were in a ball pit in some other part of the ship. Some other part of the movie.
Yeah.
So it was just part of the mixing up of everything that they did with the house. But they did at least have like an homage to those rotating that little intersection part, like you were walking through it. But they didn't exactly do that to a T. Like if they wanted to, they could have. That should have been the beginning of it. The first hallway would have been recreating that hall. But they didn't do that. And then I was also kind of surprised they didn't do an open room that was the cotton candy storage.
Well, yeah.
They just did like a narrow hall with it, but they never tried to even begin to recreate that room, that larger room.
Well, wasn't it kind of a larger room, but we had to walk around the outside of it?
I guess maybe that was the implication, but I mean, they didn't really create it, you know?
Yeah, well, that goes, to what I said earlier about the event was, I don't know, just like everything felt more intimate.
Yeah.
Like they wanted everything to be closer to you.
Yeah, but to a good effect.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a negative.
Yeah,
We're not saying like they cheaped out this year.
No.
Like this year was smaller. Like
No,
it
the
was
opposite.
just as great. It
was almost better.
I already said better than last year.
Yeah, because
in my opinion,
it made everything feel more intense. So it was cool.
Right. It was just part of it. It just seemed like maybe an initiative. Like let's keep on top of it this year a little more, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's a greater thing. We'll get to that in the summation, I think.
But then there was one other thing I was going to mention before.
Oh, they had the little popcorn guys. I guess that's like their babies that hatch.
Yes,
they had those guys coming out of the wall with creepy clown faces, like on little slender bodies or whatever it is, coming at you.
That got me good.
They had that coming out of the wall
one of the times.
part. And yeah, they had buttons you could push.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to bring.
Kept pressing the buttons.
They actually had buttons
They
that
made
did
noise.
stuff. Actually did
Yeah.
stuff, which was cool.
Did you notice what they did exactly? Because it's so much chaos in there. It's hard to tell.
I think they
Was
just
it an
made
error?
noises.
Some of them
just
made
noise?
noise. One of them, I think, did do like an error.
Air pop. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is more true to the movie. Like that's again one of those goofy brothers hits the button and then a big. It's like air and like mist in the movie. A really big column of mist comes out of the ground.
If you didn't see the movie, you might not appreciate it as much. Talking to people at school who also did the event and didn't see the movie, they totally didn't get it.
Oh, really?
And it was like one of their least favorite houses.
Oh, interesting.
Where we all saw the movie and kind of liked it.
Well,
Because I didn't appreciate the Scare Zone last year, and I watched the movie since then, and now I wish I watched the movie before last year, because then I would have appreciated the zone more.
I want to say this was like a during the event one where you said this might be your favorite.
I was like,
we weren't done yet.
I want to do this one again.
Yeah.
It's definitely what I said when we walked.
So I don't know. We'll get to our best and worst for official at the end here, but I know during the event you said that might be your favorite. You were really into it.
Okay.
All right. So next we did Universal Monsters.
Ooh, spooky. Well, I was expecting, based on the advertising, that it was just going to be Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the Mummy, but they actually incorporated a bunch of other characters, which was awesome. They had Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, however you want to say it.
Or Quasimodo.
Or Quasimodo. They also, who else did they have? Bride of Frankenstein?
Bride of Frankenstein. And Creature.
All right, Creature from the Black Lagoon. I was told the Invisible Man was in there, but I couldn't see him.
See? Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's very good,
So
yes.
good. He's-
Scared the shit out of me.
No, this was a really neat one. This one, they started off also with that sort of rain effect where you're supposed to be like in a graveyard. It's a little drizzling out
Yeah.
and windy.
that's cool.
Quality.
And then they start off with the Wolfman. Wolfman, there's that one part where on one side of you, the Wolfman is like was he on a wire or something where he's like lunging towards you from
I
afar?
think it was just elevated.
He was just elevated?
I think.
But he was like lunging like from a distance out towards you.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of you, you got a guy with a gun trying to shoot him. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle, caught in the middle.
I love when they do that. That goes back to the first year we did it in 2016 with it was the Wild West one. I
Where
can't
was
remember
that?
what it was called, but
Yeah.
and you got caught like in a gun battle in the middle. I love when they do that. That's
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, the Wolfman's coming at you, and then the guy with the gun who's trying to help you, but he still scares the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And
It's
of
like
course the sound is so loud when he shoots.
you're distracted looking one way, and then all of a sudden, bam.
It's misdirection.
Yeah, I know. It's
Oh,
great.
they're
Wonderful.
masters at that.
Yeah. I mean, so that was great. I mean, I assume it's a silver bullet.
I guess
He's
so.
trying to.
I don't know. He didn't stay down. He came at us again the next time.
Well, he misses. He clearly misses.
He misses? Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then also the another great scare after that scene where it looks like there's just this little shallow alcove, and,
Oh, yeah.
and it's so shallow that a person can't possibly hide in there. But what you don't see is that I don't know how to describe this exactly. Like the Wolfman pops it out like from the side of it. Like you don't see that there's an opening to the side of the alcove.
It's like a perspective gag.
Yeah.
It's like you can't tell that there's a full opening there, but there is. And
Yeah, and he pops out from the side, and he
gets
got
you.
me really good the first time.
You had that time perfectly for
Yeah.
you, where you got the full on scare.
Because I'm not thinking about it at all because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It looks just like there's nothing there.
Like a wall, pretty much.
Yeah,
and then
they
it's
got
like,
me.
well, they got me.
Yeah,
Now, nothing ever repeats, right? It really, truly is just each character gets a short section, and then it just kind of keeps going to the end, I believe.
well, they
right?
do a little summary at the end.
Is that is it the
that
very end?
weird last room? It's like I think it's
Oh,
Wolfman
all
pops
right,
out.
you're right.
And Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein.
You're right. There is a little summary at the end.
And I'm assuming Mummy and Wolfman are in there too.
little recap for you.
somewhere. Yeah, there's a little recap at the very end.
There, okay.
I think maybe it was Quasimodo was next. That was weird.
Well,
With his
that's one of the worst scares
Dangling feet
of the night. I still feel like maybe we just didn't get it right.
Well, I did. I went back and watched a
Oh,
video
you did.
of it just to get a refresher. And yeah, there's like a gargoyle scare that we didn't get both times. We went through twice and we didn't get either time.
Oh, how does that work?
So it was a gargoyle like pops out from the side right before you get to Quasimodo.
But that's still,
Like
does
where he
Quasimodo have
jumps
anything to do
down?
with it? Is he misdirecting you?
We saw the full Quasimodo thing. It's just the gargoyle is the only scare it looks like.
Oh, but still, that's weak then.
So he is just
So
like.
it looks like
we
it
just
looks
see
like a
his feet?
mistake. It looks like this character got tangled up in the rope or something, because it's just Quasimodo just like comes down on a rope
He like stares at you for a second and then goes back
and
up.
then goes back up and nothing happens.
And
Well,
you
but-
still see his feet.
And you still see his feet.
And then he doesn't go up
yeah.
far enough. It's goofy, yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, Quasimodo, I don't think is like a bad person. Is he? He's just
He's-
like he's just a hunchback.
he's misunderstood.
Not an evil dude.
Like
Yeah,
they're scared.
I don't
The
think.
townspeople are scared of him, but he's not. a
Yeah.
bad guy.
So like that actually does make sense with the character. I think.
But in all fairness,
Yeah,
there's
but-
also the guy that's trying to, like, all the people that are trying to save us jump out and scare us.
That's true.
So,
yeah,
like,
I mean,
why
there's
not
a ton of good guy
Quasimodo
scares.
too?
So yeah, why couldn't Quasimodo be one?
Try to save us from the
exactly.
gargoyle or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that didn't come together the way it was supposed to. Like they drew it up and it was supposed to be something, and then maybe it was too dangerous to have this character be dangling like that, but then also lunge forward a little bit or do something with audio, so they just cut it. Or
Yeah,
I don't know, because it's just that was weak.
I mean, in all fairness, that was absolutely the weakest part, perhaps the only weak part of that house.
Oh yeah.
Or of the whole event almost, because it's not that it just stood out because that's not universal. Like That was a
Yeah.
moment where I actually laughed because it was so bad.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Like, it was just laughably bad. Like, you see the feet hanging. It's just like, oh, that's just silly. And that's just not what Horror Nights usually is. So there's just a weird off moment. A rare off moment.
Yes.
And then there was, I think, was it Creature maybe was next?
Oh, Creature was great. He got me a couple times.
He got
actually.
me a bunch of times, and I don't know. That was a weird thing because that was like sort of a more open room, or not an open room, but there just like wasn't a lot of set dressing. But they had like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 of them in there, and a bunch of them got me both times. It was so weird.
Yeah, me too. I liked it though. I like Creature.
It was great.
It made me like Creature.
Well, because he got really close to me. He kept sticking his hand right in front of my face.
Yeah.
I guess that's why it was good.
They weren't afraid to get in your face in that one.
Yeah,
Or
and
any of them, really.
And then Phantom of the Opera, I think, was maybe next, and that was really cool because they did a bunch of mirrors in that section, so you didn't know what was a mannequin and where he was going to come from.
Yeah.
The second time through, he got me good. He popped out from the side, where like the sort of curtain that he was behind was like silvery and was meant to look like a mirror.
Yeah. Dracula was...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
oddly
I skipped
absent,
over.
kind of. Like,
I skipped over
he's
Dracula.
only in an establishing scene, and then he never actually goes for any scares.
No, he does.
Oh, he does?
He sticks his hand out and like roars or screams or whatever. Yeah, he's like up on a.
But in that one scene, though,
Yeah,
he's never really out there.
yeah.
He's never out there amongst them.
Right,
Really.
because he's up higher, like dealing with a dead body or something. He just kind of roars at you. The brides of Dracula, the female vampires, there's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of those.
Yeah, there's
a lot more of those.
Yeah.
in that zone.
He's more there distracting you so she can grab you. and
Yeah. And I got a blood splatter during that.
Uh-huh.
I guess like they bit into someone or something.
Well, I think there was there some bodies hanging from the ceiling during that
Well,
part?
it was supposed to be where like one of the brides was, I think, flying or floating, but I think towards a person hanging there. I'm not sure.
Because I think I got some, like, a blood drip, like it was coming from above kind of thing is what I got. Whether I was supposed to or not, but that's what I got. It was cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think in almost every single house this year, they sprayed me with something.
And then they had the big lab where, you know, Frankenstein is loose, and he has, like, the doctor tied up on the table.
Yeah, and he, like, electrocutes him.
Yeah. And
Frank is cool. Frank and Beans.
Yeah?
I kept saying, Frank and Beans. That was this year's Sammy. For me. Sammy, yeah. Frank and Beans, all right.
Yeah, they had the bride. And,
The brides are great. They had a great blood-curdling
Screech.
yell and
Yeah,
screech
yeah.
that they were doing.
Right in my ear twice. That
Yeah.
one corner. I don't know if you remember, but like twice.
Yeah, that was cool.
and Mummy was good. Mummy was, like, actually
Oh, Mummer.
kind of creepy, I thought. Like the design of the actual
They went
mummy.
for a more creepy mummy.
Where it was like, yeah, it was really like a decayed corpse look, and I thought that was really great looking. And then there was the recap section at the end.
And then you're back in some other kind of someone's lab, and it's, a bunch of the guys are there having a mad monster party.
And then Frankenstein, one last Frankenstein at the end behind a curtain.
Oh, Frank and Beans is the
that
final
was
scare.
great.
Yeah.
That I saw him while we were in line, and I don't think Be Cool did. And then he really got Be Cool at the end, and it was fantastic. I knew
Oh,
it was
it was
coming.
great.
I knew it was
I
coming,
like Frank.
and I really enjoyed.
You gotta
getting
like Frank and
scared.
Beans.
Yeah. And they got, like, really tall people.
Oh yeah.
I think they got really tall people to begin with, and then they must have, given them, like, platform shoes and stuff. Because, like, the people they got were really tall.
Well, they would tower over you.
Yeah, so it really was effective that...
Yeah.
Because, they were really huge dudes.
It was quality.
Excellent house.
That was a great house. That one we did twice as well. I remember my second time especially. I was really having a good time. That was the Frank and Beans time for me. And then I sang a little bit of "Creature from the Black Lagoon" by Dave Edmunds to Creature. I had to sing a song for him. I was
All right.
applauding him. It was great.
All right, so what was next?
All right, next was Graveyard Games, one that I kind of almost forgot about.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be like teenagers sneaking into a graveyard at night and like vandalizing the place. But
Go get back to your video games.
was that
Reminds
a
me of
line?
something else. That's Mystic Timbers.
Oh,
It's almost
jeez.
like Mystic Timbers setup
yeah.
for a house.
And
It's just
but-
dumb kids sneaking into
Yeah.
something, only it's a lot less fun. The result is a lot less fun than Mystic Timbers. You don't get a kick-ass Woody.
Right.
Well, as you're waiting online, right, there's projections onto the side of the building, and then it shows you, like, what the dumb kids are, like, tweeting.
It's like a fake Twitter feed or something,
yeah,
or a
yeah.
Facebook thing or whatever.
Or whatever. One of the things that none of us know anything about. So there was a bunch of kids being a bunch of assholes, like they are nowadays, and they were telling us what they were doing as they were in the graveyard, but then I don't know what the spirits got
Well, they were
pissed
like,
off
were
and
they
kicked
desecrating
their asses
graves or something? They were just
Yeah, they were
being assholes?
vandalizing the place. You can see they
Yeah.
spray painted and they were just destroying stuff, and then the corpses and skeletons are just, like getting revenge and like killing them.
So that was
Killing
the
the kids.
story. So actually, there's no reason for us to like the kids, right? We're actually like.
Oh, we have no
Are we?
sympathy for
We're
those
rooting for the
assholes.
monsters in this
Yes,
one.
because when you
Oddly enough.
when you first get in, the first section is they had a couple of the teens, like taunting you and like yelling at you, like us, the people walking.
Oh,
through
okay. So are we the ghosts in this one too?
So-
we're also dead.
I don't know. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Well, like I said before, the Universal doesn't really do that with the house with Horror Nights. They
Yeah.
don't come up with reasons why you're there. It's
But,
just you're there.
Yeah, but then they actually, I remember specifically they showed a dead kid like with the phone, like holding its phone that was still on and showing something
Like with a
on
cracked
it.
screen, and
Oh,
then, like,
yeah, I
and
remember
he was like
that.
impaled on something. Or whatever.
Yeah, it's like stuck to
More
the
really
wall.
graphic imagery.
This was an okay house, kind of a little forgettable.
Yeah.
The idea of it, like I kind of liked, but at the same time, it felt a little more like it was thrown together last minute. I don't know if it was really, but B, you said that the idea for this house feels more like a regional park house idea. Overall, it's not as strong of an idea as some of the other houses that they do, like Depths of Fear.
Well, yeah. Also, in that it's just simpler to pull off. It's something you could do on a more minimalist budget, I suppose, or just a lower budget in a minimalist way, because it's just creating a little bit of a graveyard, and then just your dead bodies coming to take revenge on the kids. Like it could look whatever you want them to look like. You go more just ghosts. You could just decayed bodies, a little more real, whatever you want to do. It's like whatever you have the budget to do. It just it seemed like something that I would see at a Six Flags or a Cedar Fair haunt event or something like that.
But it was Universal, so the actual bodies and stuff were way more.
Oh yeah, it's still
was quality,
it was done
so-
in a quality way. Still done with the Universal budget and the Universal spirit and all that good stuff. But
Yeah, like the bodies looked really good.
yeah, it wasn't cheaped out at all. I mean, it was still a
Right.
good house, still a lot of jump scares, the close quarters that they went with this year, of course the audio track that they all have. So it wasn't regional in any way. Just the germ of the idea, I thought maybe sort of felt that way. Although in a way, it's ironic because I don't know, would a Six Flags ever do that, where they turn the asshole kids into the villains almost? Because isn't that their audience?
Did they do it to please the kids a little more? Oh, there's tweeting going on or whatever. Like, was it just not for us as an audience?
Every horror movie has asshole kids in it. That's just what it is. So yeah, that they are appealing to younger kids today. That's,
So maybe-
'cause that's what every horror movie has.
So maybe it was just us that, like, maybe I wonder if we talked to some 20-year-olds that walked through it, or some, even 30-year-olds, because we're getting closer to 40 now.
What?
Yeah, so they may have liked it more because they
Yeah.
can relate to it more.
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
thinking.
maybe.
I wonder
And, like,
if that's the case.
I mean, they at Six Flags did do a Hellfest house last year,
yeah.
based on the movie Hellfest, and it's just asshole kids in a theme park.
Okay.
So it's like they did that.
I mean, to me, I would think it actually is playing to older people because it's like those kids are getting killed.
Well,
And then their phones are broken, and you see the busted phones. So it's kind of people who like hate that shit, and like, oh, good, they got what they deserved. That's what it looked like to me. That's how I took it. But you could take it different ways.
well, I think it appeals to more than one group of people.
or like to nobody, because it was easily my
Yeah.
second least favorite.
Is it a little too much of trying to please everybody, and you come up with nothing? All right, so maybe if you can only do 8 out of 10, it's Graveyard Games and Nightingales that get cut.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a third one that I could say I really.
Us maybe.
Well,
You
all
are-
right, well,
yeah.
let's
All right, I'm sorry.
get through
All
the
right.
rest of the list.
Okay.
So up next, we did Yeti.
Yeti.
A Yeti that works. Imagine that.
Oh.
Disney.
So this one was about a Yeti that attacks a cabin of fur trappers, I suppose. I don't know. It was supposed to take place back in like 1890 or something, probably.
It's a period piece, really.
Around the turn of the century, yeah. And
well, it's multiple cabins. Right? It's attacking a little cabin of a village, an outpost.
or it could be
of
a little
some
village,
sort.
sure.
New France, I'd like to think.
Sure.
It's like a New France thing. It's in Canada. It's cold. Great White North.
Yeah, they said it in the winter. And, yeah, you got a lot of Yetis in your face. And they're tearing up bodies. And this is another one where you got the good guys trying to shoot the Yeti and popping out and scaring you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guy scares.
This was another great entrance. Like, you walk in and, like, it's snowing, and then you walk into the cabin, right?
Yeah.
That was really freaking awesome.
This one, definitely a few degrees cooler
Yes.
than the rest of them. They definitely went for the cold because it had to. It's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be in snow. And everything has a frozen look to it. And then they actually did a little light snow coming down. And, yeah, great setup. And this house delivered. I liked it.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a really awesome house. When you go into the Yeti cave, or just a cave, and you get a little water dripping on you. And there was a Yeti that was up high that was supposed to be like on a cliff or something, like yelling down at you, and that was really cool.
But then another one would come in that same scene and like have his arms grab at you.
There was just an arm that would come down from the ceiling. That got me really good the second time because it got right in front of my face. Yeah, this was a really, really great house. Loved it.
It may have even been more wintry than I thought it would be. In terms of like, I'm just seeing it back in my mind right now, and it's like, they just got like that pale light, like down perfect. It really felt like you were walking through a wintry scene. It was very effective. And I didn't necessarily expect to be going back and forth like inside and outside. Within the scenes that they had a bunch of different cabins. You'd go in the cabin, then you'd be out again for a section, and then you'd be back in the cabin.
Mm-hmm. And they had a little bit of a campfire smell at one point.
Definitely, yeah. There was a bunch of smells. I mean, we probably didn't even cover them all. I don't even know if we even noticed them all because they really did a good job this year of just really integrating them in and just very subtle.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of just really kind of subtle smells through on different parts of these houses this year. Which I guess is probably a compliment in this case. That if you couldn't pick them all out, maybe you don't even need to because it's just part of it. It's just became part of the environment. Yeah,
it puts you in it more without even realizing.
Without it sticking out, none of them felt like, oh, there's a Glade plug-in right over here or something. It all just worked. It was, it was a little more subtle, but at the same time, it just. I think that probably is better in the long run.
Yeah. They're good with their smells.
All right, so I feel like we're not doing Yeti justice. I feel like we're talking the least about this one, but yet we did like it a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just know we liked it a lot. It's not. It wasn't complicated either, I guess. It was just a bunch of Yetis coming at you.
Yeah.
But they looked cool and they were scary and then had a good roar to them.
Like they had like fur on clotheslines or whatever hanging to dry or something, and you were feeling things and stuff. And you mentioned the cool Yeti above you.
Yeah, a lot of good guy really cool scares in this one.
A lot of them, yeah.
There's a lot of them, yeah. A lot of guys with guns trying to...
A lot of the trappers.
Popping out, yeah.
Like almost as many as the Yetis. Like it was...
Yeah, this is actually a very good one. But okay, last and maybe least, we did Stranger Things. So we came out around to that at the end just because of the wait time. It's still managed to carry the longest wait consistently. Over both nights that we were there. It was consistently an hour or more. So we waited till the end when Universal tends to stop updating the wait times in around the last hour or so. And then it would still say 60, but like we did it and we waited like
11.
Like
literally 11. Literally 11.
Yeah, it was like it said a fraction of what it said. Jeez. And that was where Yeti still said 35, and it was literally a walk-on.
We didn't wait anything.
We just had to walk through the queue and then right in. So we did Stranger Things with a very minimal wait. So this was a sequel house. This was, I guess they did Stranger Things 2 and 3. I'll go first. Not as good as last year. Not as good as the original Stranger Things house.
I think you can chalk that up to source material, probably.
Oh, yeah. We had talked about that even before this night about just the show and what we thought about it. Just 2 was a fine sequel, but 3 got a little off the rails.
Yeah, I didn't really like 2 or 3.
Oh, you didn't like 2 either? Okay.
No, well, and it seemed like Universal, I don't know if they really cared for either one that much because it seemed like it seemed like it was maybe like 2/3 season 2 and maybe 1/3 season 3. And then with the third season, they cut out all the Russian stuff. They cut out all the stupid shit. Because there was none of it in there, in the house.
Yeah, sure. Well, it was after that one that I brought up the idea, like, do you think sometimes that the Halloween Horror Nights creative ever gets kind of, like, they don't like their source material, but they have to do it, because Universal, the greater Universal made a deal, like, well, we're doing Stranger Things at least 2 years or something, and then it's like, we have to do it, but, like, I'm pretty sure they probably agreed to do another Stranger Things house just based on last year's success, possibly before they even watched at least season 3, and then they had to watch it, and then as they're watching, it's too late, they already agreed, you're doing the house, but it's like, they're sitting there watching it like, oh shit, shit, how are we doing? Oh god, this is so bad. Oh, and now there's a fucking facility, how'd they build this in a year?
Wow.
Under an entire town, and now kids are beating up Russian soldier. Oh, come on, and it's just like, you're kidding me. I don't know who made it. Maybe that happened, and then their solution was, well, let's just cut that out.
Yeah, we'll just be very selective.
Let's ignore the fact that ever happened, and let's just do a couple of the monster things, and we'll be done with it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. Whoever they were getting to play the Hopper characters looked nothing like him.
He looked more
that
like...
was really bad for Universal, because they've never been that off.
He looked more like
portrayals.
TL Hopper.
None of us.
That's a WWF reference.
Oh, okay.
1996, maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a wrestler called TL Hopper. He was a plumber. Toilet lid Hopper.
In
case you're wondering.
Okay. I remember being a lot of the dog creature scares.
Demodogs.
Yeah. And,
which is from 2.
2.
Right.
Yeah, I just remember seeing a lot of them in there. And I think the 2 rooms that I liked the most, or I thought that were the most interesting, were the ones where they did the credits.
Yeah.
Because for season 2, they had the credits come up on arcade cabinets. Mm-hmm. And for 3, it's like somebody who's supposed to be watching a television. I don't know if it's 11 or somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
I thought those 2 rooms were actually kind of neat. The rest of the house I thought was very whatever. I don't know.
The one that stands out in my mind is when Elle is closing the hole.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was a bigger room. Yeah.
That was a bigger room.
That was one of the larger sets.
Yeah.
Set pieces also.
And they did do like it's not snow, but it's whatever that stuff is.
Ash.
Toxic air.
They did do that, which is a really cool effect, actually.
They did that last year, yeah. They brought that back. As far as closing the portal there, like that, it was like mannequins though.
Yeah.
It was just 2 mannequins sitting in that elevator cage.
No, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was like the one thing that
was
I remember.
like back to E.T. almost or something. It's just like the Macy's mannequins.
Yeah, that was
that was cheesy.
That was bad.
And it almost felt like they spent less money on that house than they did on like Depths of Fear.
Yeah.
Or Yeti.
It kind of felt that way. It was,
Yeah,
it was
a little
strange.
Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just, it did feel like they phoned in the Stranger Things maze.
Yeah.
House maze, whatever you want to call it.
No, now that we're talking about it a little more, the other room I remember now is when they were like in the cabin and there's the monster that's poking through a little. Nancy was trying to shoot it or something.
That was done pretty well. That might have actually been the best. That might have been the best room.
Actually, yeah. Now that you're bringing that up, because that had a heavy strobe effect. I remember.
Yeah, a lot of lights flickering.
Yeah. That wasn't bad.
That was one of those where for the first second, like you enter the room and then for at least a split second, you're not even sure which way to go.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen much in the Universal mazes, at least, because they really want to design them for maximum throughput, and they should. But as such, then they don't get very maze-like very often. But that was one of the rare times that happened where it took me a second of scanning the walls to kind of find with my eyes where I was supposed to go next. And the lights not being on the whole time didn't help.
And yeah, I can't imagine, like, if you're a character working that room, it's like, that has really got to get to you very quickly.
It's
kind of felt bad for
all the
them.
lights and all the noise, yeah. They're like firing the guns.
Yeah, I mean, all
shotgun.
the houses are loud, but just with that heavy strobe effect, it's like, oh god.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the house was on the weaker side, I think. Yeah, I
Weaker
definitely
things?
liked weaker
Well,
things.
like weaker things.
I liked last year's Stranger Things house much better.
I did too, but at the same time, like that wasn't my favorite last year.
No, yeah.
So in the end, I don't know. Neither one of the houses really, I think, fully did the show justice.
No.
At least the first
Okay,
two seasons, and I guess the occasional good bits in 3.
So that's all of them, right?
So that was all of them.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so what was everyone's favorite? Or you want to start with least favorite?
Of those
All right,
5
well,
or
now that
all
we
of
actually
them?
finished, I know we jumped the gun with Nightingales at the time.
Well,
now
'cause
that we're done.
That was really easily the worst one.
Okay, but was it though? Because Graveyard Games came up, which I even forgot about.
It's really easily the second worst one.
I remember at the time, I think I said Graveyard Games was my least favorite, but actually now that we just went through all of them, I think Nightingales was my least favorite.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather go through Graveyard Games again.
Yes.
In the end, yeah, Graveyard Games at least came together better. We fully understood the story.
Yeah,
We went through it, very clearly. It wasn't hard for us to remember it at all. So, whereas we're still not sure exactly what those creatures were in Nightingales. So, I'll agree, yeah, Nightingales was the weakest one.
Well, what else is in the bottom 5 for us?
Yeah, what are the other
Nightingales,
two bad
Graveyard
ones?
Games, House of a Thousand Corpses, and what are the other 2?
Oh, Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things, right?
That's easy for me.
That's number
House
3.
of a Thousand was better
bad-wise.
than that.
Oh, yeah.
Us.
And Us is like kind of down there for me. Yeah,
And I'll say,
Okay,
yeah.
so what was worse, Us or Stranger Things? We're going backwards. We're going 10
Oh.
to 1.
Well, so we say, Graveyard Games is 9
Yes.
then.
actually,
Or is it? I don't know. Is
no,
Us 9?
I put Stranger Things
I forget about that.
at 9 for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No, you know what? You got a good point there.
I like Graveyard Games better.
Stranger Things was pretty piss poor.
Yeah.
Like, it really was.
I will not go better than, I won't go worse than Graveyard Games for that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, for what was supposed to be the marquee house, or at least share it with Ghostbusters, Stranger Things really just did not feel up to snuff. I might be able to agree with that at 9.
Okay.
All right.
And I might even put Us earlier, like 8.
Yeah.
Just because I got
I'll
no joy out of that. That wasn't a very fun one.
I'll agree with that.
So maybe Graveyard Games actually jumps right up to like 7. Like, it's not that bad. Like,
All right.
I almost kind of do wish we did it again now. Just so I could have had a better feel for it.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
with how I did like it. And then but then
After that, I guess we're in agreement.
and then
right?
House of a Thousand is definitely like 6, which
It
is
should
just
be-
behind the top 5.
Yeah, it should be like a top. Yeah. So if we're doing a top 6.
I mean, it's
like-
got
It's kind of like the top 6 and then everything else.
All right.
it's the one that brings the Christmas candy. How can you not love it? That house.
All right. So we're going to do the top 5 now?
All right, top 5 now.
So for number 5, I think that I would probably go Ghostbusters. Or Killer Clowns. I don't know. It's really tough.
They slipped, huh?
No,
Since you were there.
Yeah, I'm going Ghostbusters 5.
Yeah. I feel like Ghostbusters would be 5.
Ghostbusters 5, then probably Killer Clowns 4 for me.
That's
then
how I'm feeling.
probably Depths of Fear 3, Yeti 2, Universal Monsters 1.
Same except for those top 2.
Wow.
I'm gonna switch those top 2.
So you do Universal
I think-
Monsters 2, Yeti 1?
I think I would do Yeti 1.
Okay.
I did agree with Universal Monsters being number 1 when we were there, right? I think I did.
I think so.
So much fun. But
I'm
I'm
wishy-washy
gonna go
now,
Ghostbusters 2 though. I that was really good for me too. And then it's like, and between, like Yeti and Depths of Fear are so neck and neck. Those are 3 and 4. I don't know how to really split them.
Okay.
And then Killer Clowns is 5. Well, it's a good year when it's this tough.
Yeah.
We were able to do 5 and 5 pretty easy, but then it's hard. Like all 5 of those ones we did again, like they're all great in their own way.
Yes.
So I take your pick. They're all great. I really felt like they went more intense this year. To me, it felt, I don't know what that came from. Why they went that way. Were they being accused of maybe going a little too soft the last couple years, and this was sort of a bringing it back to form, back to basics kind of year is how it felt. Was it almost like you think we got soft? Well, come back this year. We'll show you what we got.
Yeah.
We still got it. They went back with a little bit of scantily clad women. Took a little step back with that, and reminding you what they used to do, and they went back, I think, just to more intense scares in the houses. Because I definitely got more total jump scares this year than last year.
Just want to quickly mention we did see the Fountain Show.
Oh, I
Which
wanted
was
to mention that too, and
called,
then forgot.
Marathon of Mayhem.
Marathon of Mayhem. Yes, they installed a bunch of fountains in their lagoon, and
Whole lagoon of this crud in the back.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, that has nothing to do with anything.
So they do, like a mist screen where they project images from the IPs that they use this year, and they do projections on the buildings behind the fountains. Those are supposed to be like the New York buildings, I think, like New York sets back there.
Yeah,
Because you're supposed to you stand in Central Park, like that's your viewing area. And they didn't do like a story or anything. It's just a bunch of clips, and they have the fountains, sync up to it with music and lights and lasers and stuff. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool. It was really
Very
well
loud
done,
audio.
very loud, and
That's Universal style.
it's a hell of a lot better than World of Color at California Adventure. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's like cool, edgy World of Color.
It's like
That's what it comes off as.
I think they did a good job with that.
It's essentially the same thing. It's just their version of it.
Oh yeah, and it makes me want to see their regular season version of that show, because I know they do something.
That's true.
For the regular season, so it would make me want to actually try and fit that in, if we go when it's not Halloween time. Yeah. Well, and the other cool thing is they have like 3 or 4 shows each night, so it's not like if you miss it, the one show, then you're screwed. It's like no, they actually have a lot of shows throughout the night.
Yeah.
And I guess they project the audio into that Central Park pretty well, because it's loud as fuck when you're standing there. But at the same time, like, I never heard any, like, of the excess audio wherever else we were in the park when any of the other showings were going on that we weren't watching.
Yeah.
You'd think you would, because it's so fucking loud, and it's like it's that whole second half of the park there. You'd think you'd hear it somewhere, even inside of a ride building, you'd hear it. From outside, like, you'd hear at least the bass or something, but you don't.
Yeah.
Somehow, it's kind of cool. That's like some of that, what would have just been Disney magic back in the day. That's Universal's caught up.
Yeah.
They figured all this shit out for themselves. It's cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, great staging of that thing, and it was fun. Yep. And we had seen it in California Adventure first, but they even do a daytime version, because we did see that.
Oh, that's
Before
right.
Horror Night started, they do just the fountains, bare bones with no lights, because it's daytime. Just the fountains to music, like a little brief, like 5-minute thing. And I don't know if that's once every hour or what the frequency is, but they even use them in the daytime a little bit since they have them. Mm-hmm. And they're just there. The one thing they did not bother to try to do some kind of a elaborate stage that rises and falls, under the water. The thing that actually broke and screwed up Disney's World of Color for a while. I'm still not sure if it's reopened yet, and I don't know if they've now disabled their up and down, or if it's. I have no idea. I didn't keep up on that at all. But Universal didn't bother. It's just they'll see the fountains. It's fine. Like, they just know that at least their crowd won't give a shit. It's a little Universal touch. Something will be exposed everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's still top notch, and it's still great. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed that show. I love the '80s soundtrack.
I think even so most of it was projected onto the water, but a lot of it was projected onto the buildings behind it. Like, they made it look like the Ghostbusters building at one point.
Oh yeah, at the
So that
firehouse.
was-
Yeah,
that
they
was
did do that.
Really, that made me happy. And Slimer went through some of the walls, right? So cool.
Yeah, they had him messing around. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah. They make it look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow is walking through the city through that.
Yeah, they did that.
It was actually really
It was
cool.
really cool stuff. Overall, though, really good that they had 2 shows again this year. Because they still did that Academy of Villains thing,
We still haven't seen it,
which
by the way.
we just don't do.
All right, we're going to do it next year.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They have a lot of shows of that throughout the event as well. They have
Every 20 minutes.
yeah, they have like 4, 5, 6 shows of that.
Yeah, they give you plenty of chance to see those things. But last year they only had the one. It was just Academy of Villains. So it's nice that they have something else. If you don't want to, because that's a little more of a pain in the ass. You got to line up, and it's like going to a stadium show. It's a whole process. Where it's nice to just have at least something that's a little more low key. You can just kind of walk in whenever and just do it.
We did do some of the food
Oh yeah, food we got to
very quickly. What do we do? Bento box?
We did the bento box. Yeah, just tents again. I guess that's all they ever do.
Star
Oh, yeah,
Court
yeah.
this year.
Yeah, it's like they advertise it's Star Court Mall food court, but then it's just the tents.
It's the same old tents,
They didn't
yes.
even do a neon sign. Nothing. They don't spend any money with that, which I guess is fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just temporary food setup.
Yeah. But it was supposed to be inspired by, I guess, a couple of the places that you see in the background, essentially, in that food court. So we went for the Asian stuff because that was the most unique, I guess. And we essentially got the bento box. I know we between me and you, Kat, we just got the two parts of it individually.
Yeah, because we knew that one little box wasn't going to be enough for both of
Yeah,
us.
so you got a little more for each, of each thing. And it was a bao bun and...
With chicken in
pot
it.
stickers.
A chicken bao bun and pot stickers.
Yeah.
Were the two items.
Pot stickers were good.
And it was just okay. It was fun, you know.
I thought it was absolutely awful.
Yeah, you really hated it, actually.
Yeah. It had no flavor and it was just terrible.
I think you got a bad one or something. I don't know. I mean, the chicken had like an orange sauce on it. Like it wasn't great. Like to me, it just tasted like mall Chinese, which ironically isn't what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was just like mall Chinese orange chicken, and then the pot stickers were just like Panda Express pot
Yeah,
stickers or
like
something.
they were like freezer,
Right, it
oil and
wasn't
you cook
restaurant
them
quality
yourself.
stuff by
Yeah,
any
like it was
stretch.
fine.
Yeah.
But like you can get them at Costco, I'm sure, BJ's or whatever, Sam's Club.
Yeah.
For whoever's not, there were two girls sitting across from us that had nachos that looked phenomenal. I wanted to eat their nachos so bad.
Oh, was that the other one? That was like a Mexican.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We didn't do. It's hard, but it's harder to screw up nachos.
No,
They might have been better
yeah.
actually, but whatever. We picked the one thing we picked, and then they let us out of the pen. That was it. I mean, they were doing a thing that they didn't really stick to, but where you're supposedly were lining up for the house of your choice in the pen. They had a Ghostbusters line and a Stranger Things line. And it's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that I did not like. I don't really understand the point of that.
Yeah, that was we didn't like it, and actually we just blew it off, and so did most other people.
Yeah.
So even the people who did bother to line up, we were just hanging back, sitting in that little park, the little New York park area on a bench, eating our food, and then when they let us out, we just dumped whatever we had left, we finished it, and then we just kind of essentially cut in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should advertise that. I mean, whatever.
Well, it's wide open. I mean, what?
But there was no like system really.
Yeah,
like
no.
it didn't seem like you had to not do. It's like I don't know. What are we gonna do?
No, they had someone holding a sign, but it was like in an open area. It wasn't a specific queue or anything.
Maybe we wouldn't have been able to cut in as easily if what we wanted to do was Stranger Things, because I think that was more in the middle. But since we were on the side towards Ghostbusters with, where we were eating our food, and that side was open, it was a little easier to stand next to somebody that was already online.
Well, whatever. It's like it wasn't a big deal. Nobody cared either. Everyone was doing it.
Nobody cared.
Once the thing let out, everyone just kind of went back into a big mob. It was just
Yeah.
And you can't do it any differently. It's like it's not like you exit that and the Ghostbusters queue is right there. It's like you still have to walk a bunch. Mm-hmm.
Well,
and there was no way to keep everybody in some kind of single file.
Was it just a little bit of organization so when they did open the gate or whatever, people weren't cutting in front of each other left to right? Because they did have it split off where all the Ghostbusters people, because the Ghostbusters house was to the left and the Stranger Things was to the right. Was it just to prevent so many people walking into each other right as they were opening the gate?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Perhaps.
Because that's really the most they could do.
And last thing I'll bring up is if you are going to Horror Nights this year, make sure you check out the shop, the tribute shop or whatever they call it, because it's like twice as big as in past years. They really expanded it, so there's a lot in there.
They turned it into kind of a one-way walkthrough.
Yeah.
In itself, which is interesting, and they kind of gave each of the major IPs its own room.
Yeah. So that's cooler than ever. So make sure you check that out.
And there's a little mini bakery in there if you're looking for some.
That's right.
A cookie that says "Run" or whatever in Christmas lights.
All right. Any other thoughts?
Horror Nights 2019.
We recommend it. It gets 6 thumbs up.
Yeah, overall 6 thumbs.
Yes.
Yeah, overall great event. Like I said, I liked it better than last year. All right, any suggestions or wish list for next year? Oh, what do you think? All right, I already got it. 8mm.
Gremlins.
Oh, we still want Gremlins, but 2.
Ghostbusters 2.
No, I can do the first one. It could be Christmas.
Harry Potter 8.
They occasionally get on a kick when they do a bunch of sequels in a row.
Oh, we should bring that up. Hang on a second.
What?
Okay, so we know that J.K. Rowling doesn't want Universal to touch the Wizarding World lands in terms of Halloween. She wants those to remain pure. But
or does she?
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure Universal's chomping at the bit to get a Harry Potter house or do something like a scary zone or something in the Wizarding Worlds. But yeah, it looks like they're maybe convincing Rowling to relent on at least a couple of characters walking around, because we tried to do the nighttime show in
Well,
Hogsmeade.
this is Owen's Adventure, we should
Yeah,
say.
Owen's
This has
Adventure.
nothing to do with Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights and the Diagon Alley section runs as it usually does for Halloween.
Right.
It's open, at least until 11, but it's just runs normal, just nighttime in London, that whole thing.
But anyway, in Hogsmeade, we didn't get to see the nighttime show because it was just going to get too late with our dinner reservation, so we had to blow that off. But
It's the new Dark Arts show that
Yeah,
they're
so-
running for Halloween.
yeah, projection show on the castle,
the mini
the
castle.
school, whatever it is. Yeah. So, but they had these. I guess they're evil wizards.
Death Eaters.
There you go. Death Eaters.
The Theaters.
Oh, Death Eaters.
No,
Theaters.
Death Eaters.
Looks like the theater to me when you read it.
They had them walking around with their wands, trying to, be evil, cast evil spells, I guess, and stuff. And they were interacting with. We saw them interacting with a kid, where they were dueling wands back and forth. That was really neat. That was really
So a
cute.
couple different duels. That was kids were doing.
That was really awesome, actually, to see that. And but they had, just like one or two like neon lights and some fog,
Couple fog
just
machines.
kind of trucked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like almost the scare zone. They're
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they want to do it, and
It's cool. Well, we know
just
they
need
want
Ra-
to do it.
Yeah, they just need Rowling to say okay, and it's like I guess maybe they're showing her like this is all right. This is like a little bit what it might be like. Just think it over.
And the kids are loving it. They're
Yeah.
not scared.
All the
Exactly,
kids
yeah.
the few kids we saw there loved it.
Yeah,
It was fucking cool.
and it was
You
cool.
loved it.
I fucking
You're a
loved
pothead.
it. I'm a Potterhead.
Because it is with the dueling wand thing. It's more interactive than just a regular scare zone where regular scare zone is like more passive. This is like at least it's like you're role playing. It's
Yeah.
more like how you would think the Star Wars land would be.
No, it's
We'll
not
get
good.
to that.
Whoa!
So how long until Universal does an all-out scare zone or just a house themed to Harry Potter?
Well, they're
1 year after Rowling's death.
well, I had brought that up when we were there. I was like, as soon as she's dead, they're gonna go crazy with this shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's not even that old, right?
No.
No. But no, in all seriousness, this is the beginning. I mean, they're chipping away, clearly. And, I could just see it. They just, she says no, whatever. And then, she gets that next royalty check. And she's like, hey, you like this check?
Yeah.
There's going to be even more. We're going to add an extra zero to that.
Well, yeah. It's like I don't.
You
know
let
if
us do a Potter house? There'll be 2 more zeros on that shit.
Well, it's like I don't know if you noticed, but there's an extra zero this quarter.
Yeah, it's what it comes down to. It's,
Well, yeah.
And
She's already a billionaire, but still, it's like, how could you not love getting that giant check?
yeah, and it's like eventually there'll be a Potter, at least scare zone.
Yeah.
Houses, because it's like there's no one movie you could just do. It would have to. You're just gonna do some kind of a Voldemort's lair or something. It's essentially gonna be the house.
The
Where's Lair?
Well, it works. And
the,
it's just him and some of his minions coming
the
at
hedge
you.
maze. Goblet of Fire, baby.
Oh, it's a
Okay.
hedge
This
maze.
is a whole fucking, yeah.
And there you go. I mean, there's definitely for something that's
Oh man, we could go around
it-
and find Horcruxes, book 8. Shit, I could find you something from each one of those books that would make something really fucking cool.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like for something it's for kids to tweens. A lot
No,
of it.
make it for me.
It's still it does
the
have a lot
series
of
started
dark
out
shit
that way,
though.
right? Didn't it? Just, but then it got.
Yeah.
Oh, it got darker and
Yeah,
darker.
That's what I
was that the
saying.
whole idea of
for
it?
something like that, though, it still does. There's a lot of material that you could use in a Halloween maze or haunt of some sort. Like surprisingly, almost.
I just got Potterwood over here.
I mean, they could. I don't even know. And who knows how many more years it'll take for them to do it. So maybe the fervor will die down a little more by then. But like, I know if they did it now, like you couldn't get near it.
Oh man,
Or
snakes popping out, Death Eaters, Voldemort's, fucking
Yeah. And this is
Malfoys all
you.
over the place. I'm so excited.
And this is you, and you're like a more toned down pothead. Like, you can imagine all the really hardcore fans.
Oh yeah, I refuse to buy a wand.
Like,
They're
look what's going on with
ridiculously
Hagrid.
priced.
Like, you wouldn't be able to get near it, though, which would be the issue. Like, they would have to do, like, a Universal Express for the first time ever. Or something, or extend it out, run it all day. Like, it starts at 12 noon or something. They would have to do something crazy to get people through. Or, first time ever, have, like, 2 sides. Double it. They're identical, so you don't have to do both, but, like, double the capacity or something. Because it would, like, at least the first time they did it, it would be insane.
Well, it would just
If they
be
do
like,
sequels later, maybe it would die down. But like that first year they do that, it's going to be like 5-hour waits. It's just, there's a lot of money on the table there. That's all I know.
Oh, yeah.
There is a ton of money waiting to be made there.
Yeah, because all of those Harry Potter fans that aren't going to Halloween Horror Nights, then all of a sudden you got them in.
Oh yeah.
It's also the biggest year for Horror Nights ever.
Yeah.
If you do a Potter maze, Universal's committed, so they're gonna get there.
Oh man, I can't wait.
So
Yeah, that's your real future. You know, something to look out for in the future of this event. Otherwise, yeah, who knows? Ghostbusters 2, maybe. You know, will Stranger Things go for a third year? And who knows what the real future of the event has in store for us with the whole new park coming.
that's right.
Will they move the event one day?
Who knows?
Or double it?
Or yeah.
A lot of things to think about there. But anyway, Halloween Horror Nights 2019.
Yeah.
So it was great.
It was great.
Yep. Another awesome year.
That says a lot. We could just keep going year after year and you don't get tired of it, at least not yet.
Even with bronchitis and feeling like you're gonna die, it's still fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Thanks for writing.
Thanks for writing our Halloween Horror Nights episode. Oh, happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah.
Once
Halloween.
again, happy Halloween. Frankenbeans. Okay. Thanks for writing. Huh.